for the 2 o'clock edition of Gwynn and Chris. Tony Gwynn Jr. and Matt Skraby here today. Chris Ello out. And we'll take you on a nice long ride today as we cover some sports. Feels like a Friday because of yesterday. You know, he did had a day off. Feels like the week is coming to the end, but it's not. He's still got a few more days left to go on the week there, Scrape.
Yeah, I'm personally happy Chris is gone, so we can move forward and have a nice time together.
I kind of knew you were going to say something along those lines. You tend to get quite mouthy once once Chris is not here. So defend himself.
Of course, because Chris is not here, so I'm going to defend myself.
Remember to listen at 3:35 for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padre game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. Got some good guests on hand. Mark Ziegler will join us. We'll talk a little Aztec basketball. Also, Beto Durand does the pre and post for the Lakers. He'll join us to talk about their hot start as they got some new news today about LeBron James.
His sciatica.
Sciatica is starting to stop. It's not flaring up as much. He got back to some action.
Imagine that.
LZ Harrington, the freshman from San Diego State, will join us in the 4 o'clock hour. And Ryan Lindley, senior offensive analyst for the San Diego State football team, will join us in the 5 o'clock hour. But Skraby, right after Craig Stammen was named manager, many of those dudes were like literally going from the press conference on Monday straight out to Las Vegas for the GM meetings, in which we get a little bit of news today. Kevin Acee, I believe yesterday, or it might have been the day that
I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Yeah, no. Yesterday wrote kind of what day one looked like. And I thought the biggest news out of that was not the biggest news, but important news, the payroll. And he said you could take these type of stories early with a grain of salt, but the payroll will remain at the levels that we saw last year. And if I'm not mistaken, where did they end up team-wise? Was it
like third or
yeah.
fourth?
So, I mean, it was a pretty healthy size payroll.
The Padres have never, in the last 4 or 5 years, they have not cheaped on the payroll.
No. They haven't.
They definitely are putting, I saw our group say they're putting every last penny into it.
Even when they did fall in like 10 or 11, by the end of that year, they were, because of the moves they made, or ended up back up closer to where they were.
Because they're a normal team and they're not the Dodgers, they had to go down below the payment threshold to come back up.
I wouldn't necessarily call them normal at all. Here's why. I think Padres probably piss off a lot of the other teams.
Because they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing.
They're not keeping the company line of, spending below or spending like a quote unquote small market team.
Yeah.
They're not doing that at all. And I'm sure that irritates a lot of the other owners around baseball. So I wouldn't call them normal by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was probably on the better side in terms of news that the payroll would remain at least in the levels that we've seen the last couple of years.
Yeah, that is good, because right now I think they carry about $200 million just as is of payroll, so that gives them another 100 or so. They got to find a lot of starting pitching.
Now, the bad news in this article from Kevin Acee seemed to insinuate, or at least point to, the fact that both of the starters that have elected for free agent, one elected for free agent, one was a free agent, very well could be gone.
I'm getting more and more used to the idea.
I that's the take I took. They both had qualifying offers given to them. They both are expected to turn those qualifying offers down, in which the Padres would get some picks, I think somewhere between the 4th and the 5th round. But that might be news for some Padre fans, if it is indeed true.
Yes, it's going to be news, but is it? I've kind of felt like the writing has been on the wall with these guys.
I always felt like the thought was at least one of them would come back. and it seemed more like King as the projected prices started to kind of surface. It seemed more like King. And so reading that article yesterday from Kevin Acey would indicate, and again, take it with a grain of salt, it's early. No one knows exactly how this is going to unfold, but it would seem that those two guys may not be back as Padres.
Yeah, and it's sad for me for a couple of reasons, because Michael King, we had so much hype and feel good around him last year. Obviously, he was injured for most of the year, couldn't get much out of him. And Dylan Cease, I think I'm more convinced than ever we're going to miss Dylan Cease more than Michael King, just in the fact that he makes every start, strikes out a lot of guys. Sure, he was frustrating this year, but there's something to be said about a guy who could strike out over 200 batters and make every start.
I agree with that. But I will say this. I don't know that Dylan comes off as the like dog type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that dude who in the biggest moments is just you're just gonna see him rise to that occasion.
Yeah.
I think Dylan is the most consistent probably guy on the market in terms of taking the ball every fifth day.
It's almost what you're paying for
at this point. And when you especially when you're talking long term, right? I mean, you want to know that a guy is, I mean, you ultimately want everybody to perform, right? Every year you want them to be good. But on the years that they're not going to be at their best, can you still rely on them to come take the baseball and not put the rest of your team, your rest of your pitching staff in jeopardy because you're not out there and they're depending? And he definitely brings that. So there's certainly some value to that. The other kind of news that has come out of at least the first day of GM meetings, seems like AJ Preller is inclined to want to have Luis Ariz back. And I'm sure that rankles quite a few people out there.
I don't think it will rankle them. For whatever reason, we just attached the $14 million to Luis last year, which honestly didn't make a big difference. But if
the price tag is,
I guess if the price tag is right, which I know you've said before, who cares, about the price tag? Or no, Chris has said before, who cares about the price tag as a fan? But it does take away the ability to sign other guys if he's making too much money. Anyway, either way, I think if he comes back and he can be a 290 hitter, but he makes a little bit less money, I think they'll be fine. The interesting part, though, is where is he going to play? Because it can't be first base.
I mean, not if you are intending on. I mean, I guess you could find a way to make him find a power bat DH, but I mean, you're limiting yourself, right? If you're not being able to pick from a first base and a DH pool, some of it will kind of intertwine, some of it won't. So yeah, I don't know.
I guess if you want to move him somewhere,
saw him play a little second base there at the end of the season there,
which I've been thinking a little bit lately.
But then that kind of creates an issue with Jake.
I know, and we're hearing all these things at the GM meetings about Fernando. We'll get to that later. Might be on the trade block. I don't believe that one bit. But maybe guys like Jake Cronenworth. I mean, I don't want to put their names out there, but he does play second base, and he's got an affordable contract that can be moved. And that's the argument about Fernando, is that his contract can be moved. But I do know the Padres really value Jake Cronenworth, and so I don't know if they would be willing to go that direction.
Yeah, there's also talk of, I think we kind of hit on this Monday, some of the arms possibly moving from bullpen to start in rotation. You've heard Morty Hone's name. You've heard Miller's name. David Morgan's a name that has kind of surfaced. I think one of the things that, I've kind of learned from having this conversation, because really AJ's had, and the Padres have had success moving guys from this spot. And the thing I take away is if a guy is adamant about being a starter, those are the ones you want to look into. If he's kind of like, whatever you guys need, those are the ones that sometimes you want to leave alone, right? Because it's a commitment to be a starter. You're doing things on a completely different workload. And so if a guy is not 100% sold out into doing it, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that he doesn't want to, just he's kind of like indifferent. Like, hey, listen, I can, whatever you guys need me to. Those may not be the best candidates for that type of change.
I totally understand, because it's a whole different job, the reliever versus a starter. But like in radio, I was that guy. So is it that some guys like David Morgan might just need to do whatever they ask him to do just so he stays in a position where he's getting
I don't know
playing time?
if it's really about that. It's about the production you're getting out of it, right? And if a guy's, it's almost like when you hear when you hear a pitcher talking about making a pitch with conviction, like he puts the number down. He pushes the button. He pushes the button.
Fastball,
and you like don't even hesitate. Yeah, I'm throwing.
Just
that.
go.
But when he pushes that button, you're kind of like,
yeah.
It's probably best not to throw that.
That's
pitch.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that kind of unfolds. A lot of stuff to kind of iron out here as we move into the offseason. You got the manager situation done.
Yes.
You still
to the chagrin of lots.
To the
chagrin's my new favorite word.
To the chagrin of a lot of people. But you also still, haven't the extension for AJ hasn't popped up yet.
Well, yeah, that's strange to me because I kept reading last week that they were hoping, and I know this was just a rumor, but they were hoping to have an extension done with AJ by Monday. And now we're way past Monday. Well, 2 days past Monday.
I don't know about
He's at the GM meetings. He still doesn't have a contract. At what point do I get worried? I know he's under contract through this next year.
I guess when AJ worries.
Okay, that's a good.
If he ain't worried about it,
he hasn't said anything about being worried. He said that they're going to work on it. So,
yeah, well, we'll see. It all is TBD at this point. All right, let's get to break. Lots of show ahead. Ruben Niebla back in the fold. Bob Nightingale. He certainly caught the eye of quite a few Padre fans over the weekend. We'll explain it all when we return. More Gwynn and Chris.
Skinny Crisello.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here, don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole, nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used to complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here, don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole, nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Skraby. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
This holiday season, too many San Diegans will go hungry. Join 97.3 The Fan and support the San Diego Food Bank. Donate food directly online through Odyssey San Diego Food Fund, where every donation helps feed local families. Go to 973thefansd.com/food fund and give today. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Chris Ello out. Going to go back to some of the news today in terms of AJ. I mean, getting right to it. The top priority is the starting rotation. I'll get to that in a sec. Today, the National League and American League Cy Young Award will be handed out to one of three guys in each league.
Well, we already know Paul Skeens is going to win.
Skraby is convinced that Paul Skeens is going to win. I mean, we have the MLB network on, and we were trying to figure out for the life of us why they were showing a September 4th game with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And the Pirates are 5-0.
Right. The Dodgers are losing, and I'm like, yo, what is this about? And I was like, it's Cy Young Award today? Is this possibly why? It is indeed. Cy Young will be announced today, I think around 4 o'clock. You know, they're piecemealing this out to us.
I know. I'm so over it.
The last 2 days, we've had different awards. We had the Rookie of the Year. Yesterday was Manager of the Year, which was a repeat in both leagues, back to back.
I'm surprised Vogt got it.
Over who was in the Schneider was in that one.
Yeah, I felt like he should have won because his team was first place mainly the entire year, never really dipped, made it all the way to the World Series. I'm not sure why Vogt, because
he has a lesser team. Let's be real. His payroll is certainly, he's working with a little bit less.
He's definitely working with less.
I mean,
but
he still has one of like the most underrated players,
Jose Ramirez,
in baseball on his team. But
yeah, I'm a little bummed for John Schneider on that one.
Yeah, I thought Schneider might win it, but again, we also have the fact that they went on a World Series run in the back of our head. This was already voted on right at the end of the season. So kudos to Vogt. And then Pat Murphy goes back to back as well. Again, another smaller payroll type team that got as far as they could go.
With that smaller payroll type team, they got steamrolled by the Dodgers.
Yeah, they did.
Like it wasn't even close. The Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz, probably deserved to win that for the A's.
That was Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday, and Drake Baldwin for the Braves. Yeah, we saw Drake Baldwin that opening day last year.
He got to start. He started the first 3 games. I think he came out as I think Darno got healthy.
Mm-hmm. Not Darno.
Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy, as he got healthy, and then eventually kind of took the job back.
He did.
As he went on to win Rookie of the Year. All right, back to the Padres. Pitching being at the top of top priority for the Padres. Kevin Acee writes that they certainly most likely won't be shopping at the top of the market. So what does this starting pitching market look like, Skraby?
It's, there's some, it's not the greatest market in the world.
You don't think it's a lot of people think this is a very deep starting pitching market.
Well, if you're looking for, when you're looking for the big names, a lot of the big names are already off the board.
That's why this is supposedly a deep thing.
So if you're willing, you can find value for sure.
Okay.
And
give us some names.
I'm trying. My stupid thing is dying
got
on
slow
me.
Right as we got on air and you needed this information.
It's really unfortunate because I had it ready to go.
The infamous had it ready to go.
All right. Here. Oh, up. All right. Here we go. Let's go to the starting pitchers again because I had to refresh. I mean, you got Jordan Montgomery. Yeah, Nick Martinez, we know him. Chris Bassett, Lucas Giolito. Here's Framber Valdez, but he's gonna cost a lot of money. Miles Michaelis, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Alex Cobb, John Gray. We know about Gallen and Cease, Imanaga, Ranger Suarez, Tyler Mahle. Like once you get away from the big names, it's kind of a drop off. Like you were talking about Merrill Kelly. I mean, he would be a great, third, fourth pitcher for the team?
I mean, they're looking for 2 starters, it sounds like.
So
I mean,
you can find some value there.
Give me some of those earlier names you gave.
Bassett, Giolito.
I mean, Bassett's intriguing.
He did a pretty good job out of the bullpen.
He was a starter most of the year. They only moved him to bullpen
for the playoffs. What about Scherzer? He's two up there.
I mean, you love a bulldog like that, but how many starts are you going to get out of him? You already are kind of,
honestly, you already kind of have a guy like that on the team.
You got some depth issues as is. I don't know if that's the safest way to spend your money on that one.
I don't trust Lucas Giolito at all.
No trust for Lucas, huh?
No trust for Lucas. Miles Michaelis. 37 years old. There's a lot of older pitchers, which isn't a bad thing, but we already know that Clayton Kershaw is going to retire. Jose Quintana, maybe that's something right there. He did well for the Brewers. Martin Perez, we want to bring him back. He was with the White Sox last year. Adrian Hauser's also. I mean, Brandon Woodruff, Eric Fetty.
He could be an interesting one as well. Woodruff, he's coming. He had to be shut down during the postseason. His shoulder popped up on him again. So,
German Marquez.
German Marquez struggled big time this year, but
he's only 31 years old.
He's got good stuff. So you start to get the drift, right? I mean, at the top, there is a drop off from the Frombers, the Ranger Suarez's, the Dylan Ceases, the Michael Kings of the world. Then you probably got the next tier underneath that. And those are a lot of the names that you just mentioned.
Which I would think last year, if we're naming this, Nick Pivetta would be on the lesser name tier. I don't think we would consider him to be the guy.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point.
So the Padres were able to pluck him out of there late in the spring training or late in the offseason. I think they're good. AJ's really good at one thing, and that's finding value and finding talent. So I'm going to trust him.
Yeah, no, I think that's something in which he does well.
But you also have to keep in mind they only have about $100 million for everything that they need for the rest of the year. I'm just saying $100 million because they're already at 200. Last year they spent around 300, so I'm gonna say 300. Like they have to maximize that $100 million because they're not going to be able to move any contracts. Now, they're not trading Fernando Tatis Jr.
Now, mind you, you're breaking that up. Somebody signs a 3-year deal, you got to cut that by a yearly basis and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So they got some room to spend if that's the case, and we're going from here. How you spend it will be mighty important.
Well, this year there's less to find in the field. You already have your outfield.
Last year, what was it? Last year, it was left field.
It was left field. It was first base. possibly second base.
Starting pitching.
Yeah. But this year you have your outfield set, and then you have most of your infield except for first base. So all you're really doing in this offseason is prioritizing pitching.
And that's already been said. Managers being hired all over Major League Baseball. We had 8 managerial openings to start the offseason. All have been filled except one.
I wonder why. Who wants to take the Rockies job? You give me
Paul DePodesta does.
Yes, he does. And I found some really funny jokes out there. Albert Breer, do you know who he is? I think I've heard. He's an NFL before. Writer. He quote tweeted the announcement of him going to the Rockies. He said, "Does that mean you're going to move to Denver?" Apparently, Paul DePodesta was doing his GMing from San Diego.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
To Cleveland.
I heard that.
How do you do that? How do you be a GM and you're not there on a day-to-day basis?
So we're still waiting for a manager to be named for the managerial job in Colorado.
They're gonna be like, Chris Bryant, you are injured and you're making a lot of money. You're gonna step in as manager too.
That being said, a lot of new managers, no major league experience manager, and I think that's important distinction. No managerial experience at the major league level.
Correct.
All but one has had managerial experience in a professional realm in terms of minor leagues, kind of cut their teeth that way.
Yeah.
With the exception of one. And I think that one might have caught the ire of Joe Maddon.
You think?
He had some words. Skraby, you have those words?
He was on with KMBR in San Francisco talking about Tony Vitello, who's the man who doesn't have any major league experience
or professional
experience here, but he's a prince. Remember, Tony?
According to the article,
here's Joe Maddon with quote, KNBR.
Yes. But quite frankly, I'm using the word insulting only from the perspective that it appears as though you don't have to have any kind of experience on a professional level to do this job anymore. Because when I was coming up, you had to have all that. You had to go through the minor leagues. You had to ride your buses. I was a scout. I started in 1981. I finally got a managerial job in 2006. I mean, there was a rite of passage, a method to get to that point. So to think that somebody could just jump in there and do what you took 20 some years to be considered qualified to do, it is kind of insulting. Now, having said that, the next part is I wish him nothing but the best, because I've watched videos of the guy and I could actually understand why it's perceived that he's ready to do something like this. So I guess the overarching point is, in today's world, prerequisites to get jobs of this caliber, even jobs like a mere job of New York City now, it doesn't require the years of experience that you may have had to have gone through in the past.
I've listened to this earlier. I forgot that he dropped in the New York City mayor job.
He just dropped a little politics in
there.
Huh?
Little jab there, I guess, of some sort. I completely understand where he's coming from, because as a guy in radio who didn't get to the mic until I mastered all of the stuff that no one wants to do around the building, I would feel some type of way if someone came in, sat down in the chair and was like, hey, I'm on the mic now. Be like, what was the last 9 years of my career? Was that just for me to waste time? I don't know. I can understand why he feels that way.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people can understand. I'll give you my thoughts at 3:00 on this. We got to wrap this particular segment up because Mark Ziegler is going to join us next. Talk a little Aztec basketball. I believe they're off this week. Back on the court next week, I believe. So boys are taking a little break. We'll have Ziegler on to talk a little bit about where this team is at through the first couple of games of the season. Lots of Gwynn and Chris on the way.
The biggest guest.
6 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby. Skraby came up with another name during the break. What was the name?
Yes, I forgot completely about this, but our esteemed boss Adam sent me a tweet about Sandy Alcantara.
Yes.
The Marlins are saying that they want to keep him. They want to make sure that he's surrounded by great players, but we will listen. No, we will listen to offers.
Okay, we compiled a free agent list.
Yes, but AJ's good at trading, and he's good at trading with the Marlins.
We haven't started talking about trading yet, but when we get to trading, yes,
I was
Sandy
excited.
Alcantara will be on that list.
Did you know he had a 7.7 something ERA in the first half and a 3 point something in the second?
Yes, I did, Scrape.
Okay.
Did you know that I do baseball games for a living?
You don't do Marlins games?
Touche.
Okay. I'm excited to talk to Elsie Harrington, by the way.
I am too.
He's
certainly has some game, man.
He's certainly a big and up and coming name on this team.
He's certainly one of the more exciting freshmen I can remember in a little bit of time. Has shown well in his short time on the Mesa, and Aztecs off to a 2-0 start here to begin the season. Mark Ziegler will join us here shortly. Got Beto Duran to talk a little Lakers a little bit later on. We mentioned LZ Harrington will also join. And we'll have Ryan Lindley talk a little football. Rough loss this past week. Looking to bounce back, but they don't have no time to really fret about it either, because Boise State the biggest game of the season. It's coming up here this week.
Yeah, my neighbor is, I hope he's not listening right now. He's one of the most positive, negative San Diego sports fans I've ever met in my entire life.
Positive, negative, huh?
Like before the game on Saturday, the Aztecs game, man, you really think they got shot this college football playoff thing? And I'm like, I don't know. They got to keep winning. Next day I see him after they get smoked by Hawaii. I knew they were going to be garbage. I just knew they were going to be garbage. But I mean, that was a bad loss. That's the loss that you can't have happen after winning like 6 straight games.
Well, it did happen. So, there's that. So you have to figure that out and be able to bounce back. As that was, as you said, it was a bad loss. But again, Boise State right on the mend here, or right around the corner here. Couple things in the NBA. Bradley Beal, Clipper, was traded from Phoenix to the Clippers this offseason. And I haven't heard much from him. I don't know what he had been doing this season, but he's done for the season. Apparently, during the last game, did something to his hip. He'll have season-ending hip surgery. This is bad news for the Clippers, who are off to a little bit of a rough start this season. So, really unfortunate news for the Clippers as they're trying to get their season turned around. We'll get to some of the NBA.
I stopped doing load management, maybe.
Oh, why do you think that has anything to do with load management?
I mean, when their best players don't play,
we're not doing this. Mark Ziegler's on the line. Talk some San Diego State hoops. Mark, how are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. Magoon Guas, 6 months of load management.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of this is guys who are actually injured at this point. Mark, big milestone for Dutch over the weekend, 200 wins on the season. I don't know if people really understand how big that number is.
Yeah, and again, okay, so there are a lot of guys out there who won 200, but he did it in 268 games,
right?
Which is just insane. And it took him a little bit over 8 seasons. It would have been 8 had he not had a couple seasons shortened by the pandemic. And he's number 25 in the all-time list, I think. There's some pretty impressive names on there, like Mark Few. But this is a guy, and we've talked about this before, in his first year until like the last 2-3 weeks of the season, people are like, oh no, is this really the guy? Is he not really Steve Fisher? And no one's saying that anymore because he won 6 straight to close that season and went to the NCAA tournament. And then a couple years later, he's 30-2, and then a couple years after that, he's in the national championship game, and he falls out with the Sweet 16. And now he might have
as good a team as he's ever had. So I think his the body of work speaks for itself.
No doubt about it. He has certainly been a part of the change of culture here at San Diego State and has continued it on his own. Mark Ziegler joins us here, Union Tribune. And Mark, Aztecs off to a 2-0 start, won by almost 40 the first game, a little bit kind of sluggish game the second time around. What's been your takeaway through the first two games?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've looked all in all pretty good. Considering that, the biggest piece, literally, Magoon Guas, is not out there yet. Yeah. And, and Reese Waters didn't play in the first game. And, Reese Waters and Magoon have never played together in a game. And so that's something that, people kind of have to wrap their head around and get used to. But I think they're really right on schedule. Their practices, their arc of improvement at this time of year is so far ahead of last year and ahead of a lot of years. Yeah. That I think if they keep improving, their starting point was so high that they're just going to keep going up. Their ceiling's going to be pretty high. So I think so far everything's on schedule. They're going to get a little bit tougher test now in Troy coming up here next week. Troy probably should be 5-0 coming in here, and they're statistically and according to the metrics better than Idaho State and Long Beach State. And obviously the big test is going to be Michigan on November 24th at the Players Only Festival in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the schedule only starts to get a little bit tougher. Mark, Miles Heide has stood out to me through the first couple of games. His energy kind of sparked it in the first game. It kind of got them rolling. Was this the kind of expectation that the Aztecs had for him when the season started?
Yeah, the thing that people have to remember is big guys take longer to develop. Yeah. And he was a big guy. Brian Dutcher, when they recruit big guys in high school, they're not looking at the product in front of them. They're looking at what kind of feet do they have? What kind of work ethic do they have? What does their shot look like? What does their frame look like? Can they put on more weight? And he kind of checked all those boxes. And then it's just a wait. Now let's wait 2 seasons and see what he looks like. Well, now we've waited 2 seasons and we're starting to see what they envision for him. I mean, you mentioned energy. He's really, really been energetic. I think his knees bothered him a little bit last year, and he's a lot healthier this year. So I think that helps. But it's just the natural maturity. The fact that he, what showed me a lot, he's a confidence guy, right? When he doesn't play well and he doesn't have good confidence, he has bad body language and he just kind of down in the dumps. And when his confidence is high, which it is right now, he really plays well. I mean, you can tell his confidence is high because he took a 3-pointer in the first half and missed, and then he took one in the second half. Usually guys who have questionable confidence, they miss that first one. They're like, no way am I taking another one. He took another one, and I think that was a really positive sign. I don't think they always want him taking threes, but that was positive, just showing that he has a lot of belief in himself, and I think that's what you're going to see the difference with him this year.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here on 97.3 The Fan about the Aztecs basketball team. We're going to have LZ Harrington on the show a little bit later, so we're excited about that. And I was reading through his bio, and I didn't realize how accomplished he was in high school and how many other schools really recruited him and tried to get him to go to their school. But he chose the Aztecs, started in his first 2 games great. What are the expectations for him this year as a freshman?
Well, he's a freshman, so no one's going to, overhype him, I think. It's just everything is gravy type thing in a program where freshmen really don't play a lot typically. But I can tell you, I've talked to some NBA people, some scouts, and they already have their eye on this guy. And it's not the stat line. It's just how he carries himself on the floor. He's 6'6", he's long. He doesn't get rattled. And I think one of the big things was in the Long Beach State game, they play a lot of real pressure defense, kind of like San Diego State having, a former San Diego State assistant, Chris Acker, as their head coach. And he had no problems against the pressure, just took the ball up, look for somebody open, initiate the offense. And some of the passes he made were so high end for a freshman that it got some people's attention, trust me. And one in particular was there was a fast break where he threw over the top. He had one dribble and without hesitation went over the top over the entire defense to Farrell Compton streaking for a dunk. That's a play they've worked on in practice. It's part of their system. They get it in practice, but no one had really done that in a game. And last season, or so far in this one. And his first true game, he does it.
Yeah.
And that tells you the kind of upside he has. I think they're quietly really, really excited. I think you're going to see his playing time really spike up. Particularly watch for end of games. I think you might see him on the floor in crunch time in close games.
Mark Ziegler joins us here to Union Tribune. And Mark, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep this one bottled up very much longer. I mean, all the things you said stand out watching him. And that was the thing I noticed most is he didn't seem like a freshman when he was out on the floor, and his impact was felt despite the stat line being not something that jumps off the page at you.
Yeah. Let me turn this answer around into a question to you. You've seen a lot of pro athletes, right? You know what a pro looks like, just regardless of the sport. When you watch him, do you see just the way he carries himself, the way he sees the floor, or the way he goes about his business? Does that just scream pro to you?
It does. The fluidity in which he moves on the floor, it's like the perfect pace to get up and down. I was impressed watching. I'm looking forward to talking to him when he comes on a little later on. One of the things you wrote about, Mark, in your most recent article was the pick and pop was giving the Aztecs a little bit of trouble. And Dutch, to no one's surprise, was like, good. This is exactly what we needed to happen. That was interesting watching a team that really dominated that game defensively struggle with that piece of it in the second half.
Yeah, and there's a couple parts of this. First of all, Looney, their coach, Ryan Looney, who was at Point Loma Nazarene, took Point Loma Nazarene to the national championship game in 2019, is a really, really good, underrated coach. He's one of those guys that, no one really pays much attention to him because he's maybe one of the toughest jobs in the country. They don't win a ton. They finished fourth place last year, which was like in the Big Sky, which is like the best they've finished in 35 years. I mean, that's how hard the job is. And so no one really pays attention to him, but he's a really, really good coach, and little subtleties in his offense and the way he puts it together. And he made an adjustment at halftime that really exposed San Diego State. But as you pointed out, Brian Dutch was like, oh, this is great because we need to work on it. We need to see it on film. We need to get exposed. And they got exposed without losing the game. But that's part of like the when I talk about how this team has sort of progressed at a much higher rate, faster rate than some of the previous ones, that's part of it. I mean, in each game they played this year, whether it was UCLA, whether it was USD in the exhibition, then Long Beach State, and then Idaho State, there's been something with their defense that hasn't been quite right. And then they had to work on it, improved it in practice, and came back and were better at it. And so this is sort of the next progression and next step in that, trying to read, okay, is the guy on the screen or is he going to set it and then pop? What do we do? And they do two different things based on that read. And so seeing it in a live game, now being able to, put it to practice for 9 days, I suspect they'll be way better at that against Troy.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here, SDUT on 97.3 The Fan. And I'm going to ask you about another Mountain West team. That's Boise State, because they started the year against Hawaii Pacific. They lost to Hawaii Pacific. And I'm just wondering, like, is that a terrible loss? Or is it just one of those things that happens throughout a season? Because I saw a lot of people freaking out that they lost to Hawaii Pacific and it's going to affect their rest of their season.
Well, from a metric standpoint, it has no effect because Division II games and below don't count in the metrics. Only Division I.
Lucky for them.
But it is on the team sheets when the NCAA tournament committee is looking at your body of work, and there it is right at the top is a loss to a D2 team. Even worse, this is a D2 team picked 7th in its conference. So it wasn't like, oh, this has been one of the best. It's not like Cal State Dominguez Hills, which, was a Final Four team in Division II last year and has a bunch of guys back. It's not that. And so I think that was the cause for a long. Plus, they had quite a bit of travel to get there. However, I think so it really, they can recover from that. They can go on and win a bunch of games and everyone will forget about it. But I think the bigger issue is if you lose to a D2 team like that at home, you probably have some bigger problems.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not as good as everyone thought you're going to be. And so I think that's the bigger problem. And you saw that, for example, with UNLV, they lost to Tennessee Martin in their opener. Awful loss at home, right? 300 RPI, a Ken Palm team. And And so you think, well, they can get over that. They come out and they blow out Chattanooga in their next game. And you think, okay, it's behind them. And then they come out last night and they give up 102 points and lose by 9 to Montana. And that, the Tennessee Martin loss alone didn't sink them, but it was a sign of, okay, there's some problems here. And then it reared its head against Montana. Now you got 2 of those. And, they're going to have to win the conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. And we were 3 games into the season.
I think for other reasons is you just don't want the teams in your own conference to be losing those type of games. It only weakens what the conference looks like. Mark, last one for 100%. Me. You talked about the schedule getting, tougher, starting with Troy next week. And we had earlier talked about how deep this roster is. To this point, there's been no signs or reasons for Dutcher to look to trim this rotation. But as you start going through these games, at what point does a head coach start to reevaluate rotations and things of that nature?
Well, I think you'll see it when they play Michigan if it's a close game, right?
Okay.
And they get into 8 minutes to go, and it's a 1 or 2 possession game. I think you'll really start to see who's playing well that day, but also who's been playing well in the last few weeks, and those guys be on the floor. I don't think you have to worry about. I don't think he's going to worry about feelings as much then.
Right.
But that said, it's 3 games, and likely you'll play 3 in 3 days.
That's also true. Yeah.
You could lose that first game and win the next 2 and really come out of that tournament looking pretty good, as opposed to throwing all your eggs in one basket, winning that first game and then not being exhausted for the next 2 and losing those 2. So usually in these situations he will play a deeper roster, even if some of the guys aren't performing at the same level as the frontliners, just because he wants to get through the 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that will be a really good gauge. I think the Arizona game will definitely be a good gauge because Gwynn should be fully up to speed by then. They'll have 10 games under their belt, and they should have a good sense of where everyone fits. Right now, it's really up in the air, and you have like we just talked about with Elsie. I mean, he's coming. I mean, he is really starting to improve. But then, whose minutes get trimmed? Is it going to be Taj DeGorville, the starting point guard? Is it going to be Sean Newman? Is it going to be B.J. Davis? You don't have enough minutes to go around. And Dutch has been very open about that. He goes, I don't have enough minutes. Someone's not going to be happy. The key to this team is going to be, do we pout or are we all in this together?
Yeah, no doubt. Mark, as always, man, appreciate you coming on, spending some time with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll talk to you guys.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune, joining us there. And don't forget, all guests on the 97.3 The Fan hotline join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir. Always nice to hear from Mark. Aztecs off to a good start. Things get a little tougher. Troy next week. Then you roll into that big payday tournament, Players Air Festival, Michigan, Oregon. And if you win those 2, you're going to play somebody else good. So
it does make me get excited about when they're playing teams like that.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely get your popcorn ready and plan that day out so you can sit and watch. 3 o'clock hour on the way, little daily gambit. And I'll give you my thoughts. What was that I was giving you my thoughts on? With the
manager thoughts. Yeah. I even wrote, see, we're trying, Tony. We're trying.
Oh, you get it all on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have 100. They went to one with 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're gonna eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was just saying it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say. I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a, what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, are they cheesy? No, they're not cheesy at all, actually. They're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it. With dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now, I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the beaver nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, put me on. And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the beaver nuggets. And so I had to order them, because I find the name beaver nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was just saying it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say. I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, are they cheesy? No, they're not cheesy at all, actually. They're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it. With dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now, I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the beaver nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And
We are indeed ready to go. 3 o'clock on the dial. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Shout out to all of the young high school athletes today. National, I don't even know if they call it National Letter of Intent Day, but this is the day where they make it official that they're going to the schools that they're going to pursue their collegiate careers. Today is the official day. So shout out to all of the young men and young ladies, young women out there, including my daughter, Michaela, who officially became a Lope today.
Yeah, it's really funny when people in the chat are like, what's with the Grand Canyon shirt?
Yeah. Well,
his daughter's going there.
That's right. That's right. And a lot of times I don't have that many shirts to be rocking. So it's just.
You have more shirts than Chris and I combined.
Well, that's not the right type of shirts to be in here for a studio show for 4 hours. I want to be comfortable. I could come in here with a collar button up joint every day, but I do that for 150 games. So
you know what? Tomorrow you should wear your 97.3 button up.
I don't even know if I own that.
Yes,
anymore.
It's somewhere in your closet.
I think I gave it to Goodwill at this point.
You gave it to Goodwill.
Yeah, I wasn't going to wear it. So, you know.
So there's some person walking around out there with a 97.3 shirt. I always wonder what Goodwill does with stuff like that.
I would hope they give it to the people who need it.
You know, I think they do, but like when it's a brand like that, I mean, they're not selling a 97.3 shirt.
I don't think they are either. They should hand it off to someone.
Oh, it's a nice shirt. It's a Nike shirt. It's got good embroidering on it.
Might have even been Lulu.
The one that you have?
Might have been.
See, you're on a different scale than Chris and I.
I think I might have had that. Someone hooked that up for me.
Probably.
Nonetheless, I told you to give my thought on the manager thing because Joe seemed quite perturbed, and he tried to.
Joe Madden.
He seemed quite perturbed, but he also tried to kind of like reel it back in a little bit and say, he wished him best, which I'm sure he actually does. But I don't disagree with Joe that's really how it's been in almost all walks of life. Skraby, you kind of mentioned it on the radio side.
Yep.
It's been like that in all the sports, but there are some outliers that I think people may kind of be asking themselves, well, a lot of these guys didn't have major league experience, but most of them had some, minor league managerial experience, except for
Vitello. Yeah, Vitello did not.
He did not. But, I think there's room for some of these. It's a risk. Don't get it wrong. This is definitely a risk. A lot of the things that Joe Madden kind of insinuated are going to be people are going to have that same thought in their mind before he even ever gets a chance to actually manage. But ultimately, if he goes out and wins games, there will be a lot of people copying this move, I think, moving forward.
And I love it when people copy.
I don't know if it's a lot, but a few will try.
I love it when people copy because usually you can only find the one
that's like this.
Right. Yeah, and you're not going to find another one of that. But if I'm a Padres fan, because I've been paying attention, if you'd like to go watch Tony's interview with Craig Stammen, it's on our YouTube at Gwynn and Chris SD. You can also go and watch the show on our YouTube, Gwynn and Chris SD. But the comments are, this guy has no experience. This guy has no experience. This guy has no experience. I'd much rather a guy who
has no experience
pitched in the major leagues for like 15 years than a guy who never even cracked the major leagues at all in Tony Vitello. It's a way bigger risk for me that what the Giants are doing than what Craig Stammen is doing, and the Padres are doing. But Craig Stammen has also said multiple times now he's going to lean on a lot of his coaching staff.
What did he say? If this is the Craig Stammen show, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, he did say that, which is good, which is funny.
Yeah,
I think that he is a smart enough guy to know that he can't do this on his own, and that's why they moved Ruben Niebla. He's an associate manager now, so Ben Fritz is going to take more of the pitching coach roles, and Ruben Niebla is still going to be involved with pitching, but he's also going to be more heavily involved with decision making.
Do we know that? Is that
it came out in AC's article?
He said that he's not that Fritzy's going to be more.
Let me get the language.
More, yeah. I want to hear the exact language on this.
Let's see. The Padres, blah blah blah. Niebla's new title and responsibilities will mean an expanded role for bullpen coach Ben Fritz, who recently received a 2-year contract extension. So maybe not. He's not becoming the pitching coach,
but
he's going to assume more roles.
He's going to have a bigger role. Okay, that makes more sense. So to make sure we got that right.
Ben Fritz, the manager.
Exactly. All right. Let's get to our daily gambit. Before we get into that, though, because I don't think we have a very big daily gambit. We did have a development that I don't know that we actually talked about in terms of the whole gambling fiasco that sports is dealing with.
Clase and Ortiz,
right? With that Major League Baseball is dealing with at this point, and I read somewhere that they want to have their investigation done and whatever handed out by spring training of 2026. So,
not a lifetime ban.
Well, again, they
have to investigate.
They gotta first. They have to be guilty on that end before there's a lifetime ban, and then Major League Baseball's own investigation. Listen, I don't think that these are two guys in your conspiracy vein that the MLB is going to like think too long about if they feel like they've done something wrong.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if this was Ohtani, well, we've already been through that. Sorry. They also put this, MLB's working with sports books on these single one-off bets on pitches, and you can only do up to $200 bet on it, and you can't include it in a parlay, which still doesn't take care of the problem. It
does take away
because you're not making a lot of money,
a less of a risk here in terms of because the prop bets are basically in the game of baseball one-offs that can just easily be explained away if you don't have people monitoring as Major League Baseball did there. And so they are trying to make the risk not worth the reward.
Exactly.
So they have lowered the money to the most you can make is a measly $200.
No, you can only bet.
So I'm sorry, the most you can bet is $200. And you know, I mean, listen, I didn't think the 10 grand was allegedly earned in this whole thing didn't think that was worth it, but
no.
Clearly I was wrong
had
about that.
$20 million contract, and maybe it was just the adrenaline rush of doing it.
I'm sorry, man. Maybe I'm just not an adrenaline junkie like that, but
I'm not either.
That just,
I love to jump out of planes, but I don't love to break the law.
That doesn't seem like it adds up to me. 20 mil versus 10 racks.
Yeah.
It's just, the math ain't math.
He's the facilitator, so he's kind of like the bookie.
Now, you were telling me there's at least a report out, or at least that Clase is saying that he was actually. Where did you get this?
This was a report, and so I'm going to tell it to you as a rumor.
Wait, where did you get the report?
It was on Twitter somewhere, but it was from someone like legit, and they were saying that he said that he was actually using his phone to make bets on rooster fighting. I'm not going to say the other word because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, but he was making bets on that during games. Right before he goes out to save, he's putting down money on Mr. Rooster, which I don't believe either.
Yeah, we'll see.
Either way, he's on the phone.
Yeah. Let's get to this daily gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Real quick, I just got a tweet from the Padres.
They have tweeted you personally?
No.
Oh.
I have notifications on the Padres tweets. They have announced their Fan Fest, and it's going to be January 31st of 2026. So there you go. That's before spring training. That's a little bit of a different. I think it gets too crazy near the season.
Yeah, so much better. I'm so glad we're doing it
early
before spring training.
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy.
Like coming back from spring training and then being like, Fan Fest.
Yay! Chicago Bulls, Tony. We have nothing to review because we were off yesterday. Chicago Bulls at the Pistons. The Bulls are actually favored in this game by 1.5
Real quick,
points.
I saw Chris's Bulls get daggered by the alien. Wembanyama, he like waved a whole bunch of people off and then hit a three and walked it off. It was pretty sweet.
I get a lot of Wemby pop-ups because he's doing a lot.
Yes, he's doing quite a bit.
So the bet is the Bulls -1.5, Tony. Pistons have been pretty good.
1.5 is being given to the Bulls?
Yeah. No, they are favored. Yes.
Give me the Pistons.
All right. I'll keep with my Bulls. All right, your guys tonight. The Lakers
OKC, baby.
At the Thunder. Still no Mr. Sciatica, LeBron James.
Hey, put some respect on his name, buddy.
I said LeBron James.
No, you didn't. You said Mr. Sciatica.
LeBron James.
Okay.
Oklahoma City favored by 8.5 points.
They are still without Jalen Williams. I'm going to take my Lakers. I think they cover that. 8.5.
Yeah, I don't think this is a crazy bet at all. Actually, Lakers
and the best duo in the NBA is back together again. Just want to point that out.
Oh, who the Hillbilly Mamba?
Hillbilly Mamba and Luka.
Oh, I thought it was LaRavia.
He ain't there yet, player.
Man, Luka got his GM fired from Dallas, and he didn't even do anything. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Man, I guess zigging when everybody else was zagging wasn't the move there, huh?
I don't understand why you ever bring a guy into a year where you fire him.
You know what the cold part about that whole deal is? I'll hold my thought on that because I got some thoughts on that.
Next segment.
Okay.
Next bet is who scores more in their games tonight, Nikola Jokic or James Harden? Straight up.
James is. Oh, they're playing each other.
Yep.
Give me Jokic.
I mean, this is kind of an easy one, right? I guess I'll go. You know what? I'll go with James Harden.
Who's out?
Probably Kawhi.
Kawhi and Bill. Yeah, give me James Harden. They're going to need all his points.
All right. And then final one. Here is a parlay that was put together by DraftKings Sportsbook. 6 legs. All 6 of these guys have to score 25 or more points. Luka, SGA, Jokic, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, James Harden. I'm not making this bet. One of those guys is going under.
This is a trick, right?
This is totally a trick.
Because if you just mention those names solo and ask them, can they get 25? You pretty much say yes about all of them.
But to have all 6 get 25? I don't know.
Give me the names again.
Luka, SGA,
yes.
Jokic, Durant,
yes.
Booker,
maybe.
Harden, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, this one. And this is why parlays are dangerous.
Yes,
people.
They are. That's a trick parlay right there.
That is
as all parlays probably are.
I know. I do parlays at least one a week. I put $10 down on a parlay on a legal betting app here in California.
Do we need to keep going or we need to get out?
We're gonna have to keep going at this point.
Skraby.
That's why I kept talking.
All right.
Anyway, parlays, I never win them. Don't try them.
Was that our last bet too?
That was our last bet.
Of course it was. Real quick, fantasy football.
Yes.
I'm having the worst injury season on the planet. Marvin Harrison Jr. Appendectomy.
Right.
Just middle of the week.
Where you at on that one, Mr. Harrison Sr.?
Is he supposed to have an opinion on this too?
I mean, he's always talking about how bad the offense is. Yeah, you're having a bad season.
Is he lying though?
Jacoby Brissett makes it look great.
My guy, Garrett Wilson, comes back, bam.
I don't even believe he was ever healthy. He had hyperextended his knee, and then he comes back and he's out for the next 4 weeks. Who else we got on the IR? Oh, I'm playing Chris this week.
I just finished him off this past week. He's not here for me to gloat in his face about it.
5-5.
Yeah, he got off to a great start, just like your boy. And then he has hit the skids, just tough. Like your boy.
It's tough when he has someone like CJ Stroud as his quarterback.
That's what he gets for talking about him for the previous 2 years, as bad as he was talking about him. Now he had to draft him, and his team is not doing what he wants to do.
He also drafted Justin Fields.
Also hasn't worked out for him.
I'm 7-3, so I'm not gloating because I know this is where things
I don't know
go down.
about the rest of y'all. When he said I'm 7-3, it kind of sounded like he was gloating, but maybe that was just my ears that heard that. Let's get to break. It's 3:16 before you carry us into another one.
We got to go to 18. Remember?
I thought it was 16. All right, go ahead.
I got one more. On my friends league, I was doing really well, Tony. Like I was leading the league, scoring a lot of points. Travis Hunter he's going to be out for the year after he got LCL surgery. Lamar Jackson was out a little bit, so I'm feeling the pain of your injury season this year. I got just Alvin Kamara is terrible. Garrett Wilson is terrible. I got no one, Tony. Oh, I lost Tucker Kraft to ACL injury.
What was the running back for the Jets? Not the other
Scatterboo.
One. No, for Jets, not the Giants.
Oh, Jets. Breece Hall?
The other one that was backing him up, that was taking carries away from him.
Oh,
anyway, he got hurt.
I know what you're talking about.
He got hurt.
Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen, missing him too. It's just been a rough week, a rough year in fantasy. I thought AJ Brown's comments were quite hilarious.
Oh, I can't keep up with that guy.
Speaking of fantasy, he basically said, if you have me on fantasy, get rid of me.
I like it.
It's been that kind of year for him. Stories continue to swirl about his discontentment with not getting the ball. The funny thing is, when he's gotten the ball this year, they've lost.
And
when it's looked the way it's looked these other weeks where he's not getting the ball, they keep winning.
That is really interesting.
And it's quite the situation.
They have no problem in getting the ball to Devontae Smith. It seems like he has target after target after target. For some reason, AJ Brown is either never open or Jalen Hurts doesn't throw it to him.
Yeah, no, it's starting to become a little bit of. According to Sirianni, it's not a distraction, but at some point when this keeps popping up every week, it starts to become one at some point.
Yeah, AJ Brown's going to start reading books on the sideline again.
You might have to resort back to that. All right, let's get to break finally. We got another side.
We're going to talk about Nico Harrison on the other side.
Man, I got some thoughts on this. Nico finally met his maker.
Maybe he's happy about it.
He might be. He didn't take too long to update his Instagram profile from GM of or basketball head of basketball operations to unemployed.
He did say that.
So he has clearly a sense of humor about it, I would think.
That's good.
More good at Chris on the other side.
From the 855, get
Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs. mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. And this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Crisello, yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers' great shortstop, Jack Morris, in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero, never met a pitch he couldn't swing at, and powerhouse hitter for
Junior. Matt Skraby, Crisello out. Lady Aztecs, I believe, playing today, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's not where he is.
No, he's not. He's at a wedding. Nonetheless, Nico, what's his name? Harrison? Harrison?
Nico Harrison. I almost called him Nico Collins earlier.
He that's why I had to catch myself. He was finally let go by the Dallas Mavericks. Certainly, Dallas fans have been yelling this since the trade last year that sent shockwaves through the sports industry.
It really did.
It did. No, I didn't believe it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this has got to be fake news. There's no way.
It was that crazy.
There's just no way. But yes, he was let go. He immediately thought, what would I do after getting fired? I'm going to go to Instagram and change my bio from head of basketball operations to unemployed.
Hey, he's looking for a new job. He's got to make sure people know.
No lies told. He's
No
definitely looking for a new job.
That tells me he's taking this in stride.
It's funny to me. He's going to be the one that ultimately takes the blame for it, and he should. It's a fireable offense. But you know who else who okayed this?
The ownership?
Like, he wasn't just out there like, okay, I'm gonna make this move and I'll tell the boss afterwards. Like,
yeah, it doesn't work that way.
He had to clear. And listen, boss was willing to let him give it a go. Didn't give it very long to settle in. I mean, if you think about it, right after that, Kyrie Irving tears his knee up. He's out until he's been out since. Anthony Davis has been in and out.
Yeah, tore up his groin.
Maybe maybe that's a part of why the decision's made, because Davis hasn't been able to be on the floor as much. But ultimately, the decision was made because you gave up a generational talent at a pretty young age, and moved him to not a different conference. It's within the same conference. You're going to have to see him at least twice a year at your place. And
you're going to have to deal with it.
Yes.
I think another thing about the trade was that teams were kind of upset that he didn't shop Luka.
Well,
because there are so many different teams that would have given him more. I'm saying for his job status.
I mean, I don't know that the teams being upset about it matters.
No. But I'm saying, like, for him, he could have got a better return.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
I think this deal was doomed no matter who you got. Because you have to think, the guys that they would have gotten in a bigger deal would have been all talented guys who were on the up and coming. So the same irritation would have been there from the fans, because they would have still been waiting for, they were in an NBA Finals not that long ago.
Yeah.
And so no matter what, once you decided that you were moving Luka, no matter what you got back from him, unless it was going to be, I don't know who's a top tier. Unless it was going to be Anthony Edwards or somebody like that you're getting it. I don't know that it would have mattered.
Because
it would have needed to be instant for the fan base to see. Oh, okay, I can see what you saw. But there's nothing about this deal that gave them that.
No, all they remember is that Luka Doncic is not on the court as a Dallas Maverick.
Yeah,
so I mean, who knows? Like, if Luka really wanted to get out of there, or but it just did not work out for Nico.
It didn't sound like Nico and his camp were on the same page.
No, and then Luka shows up in the best shape of his life this year.
Yeah,
that's not
that guy got skinny, and he's like even better now.
That's crazy.
And the fact that they were making a big deal about his weight is another probably issue.
I'll take his weight,
Most of us would.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to break. When we return, good friend of mine, Bethel Duran, handles the pre and post for the Los Angeles Lakers. He'll join us next. We'll get caught up on some Lakerland. We're Gwynn and Chris.
Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Skraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick. So goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Skraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Skraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. That was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. It's not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth is like getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I gotta go with the milk. My mouth is dying right now. Yeah, this is not fun, guys. Never gonna do that again because my mouth is on fire. Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help. And there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Skraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick. So, goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break, and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Skraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Skraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. That was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. It's not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth is like getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure.
If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. Beto Duran will join us here shortly, talk a little Lakers hoops. They will take on OKC in what I believe is a doubleheader tonight on ESPN.
Oh, not Prime.
Not Prime. I have enjoyed the Prime coverage. Vince Carter did a kind of a breakdown last year, and it wasn't last year. It was of this year, and he was pleading with the guys he thought would kind of reinvigorate this dunk contest. And so he had like a list of like 10 guys, and he went through each of them, and he turned to the camera after each one of them was like basically begging them to come out and kind of revitalize the game. He was like, I don't want the guys who are the best dunkers. I want the guys that have something to them that will kind of get you out of your seat. And so he started running through highlights of in-game dunks that I think John Morant was one guy he specifically.
John doesn't seem like he would want to do that.
I don't know, man. I hope these guys are listening to the pleading that is going on from the guys who actually made Saturdays part of the All-Star Festival fun, right?
Yeah.
For all of us to watch.
I know that Vince Carter was in a slam dunk competition, put his entire arm into the rim.
None of us will ever forget where we were when we saw that.
Have no idea who's competed in the last 3 years.
When he put his whole arm into the hoop, I just remember to myself, like that dunk wasn't that special, but I don't think it's normal for his whole arm to be inside the hoop.
It's not normal. That's why it was so special.
Then when he spun, I mean, I know it's. And like when you say it out loud, it doesn't seem, but he reversed 360. Like, everybody spins the same way. I remember watching him spin the other way and thinking to myself, that's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
I've never even thought about that. Yeah, but you're right. I would spin right every time.
Everybody does. It's not a thing. Like
even a lefty.
I don't even think anybody thought about it. You just spin the direction that you're normally going.
Oh, that'd be so weird to spin the other way. Now that I'm thinking about it, that'd be so weird.
Nonetheless, I have enjoyed the Peacock coverage, and I'm still getting my TNT fix from Shaq and those guys on ESPN. They sprinkled in them enough that I'm not like
missing them.
Where are they at?
And Kenny the Jet is going to be on there all the time.
They got him spread out a bunch of different places. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been disappointed with how it's gone so far.
He's definitely made a better career move for himself.
I'd say so. I mean, just kind of not being relegated to just Wednesday or whatever other days and just that particular show. He's been on NBA Today. I've seen him on SportsCenter. All right, Beto Duran coming up here shortly. Let's check a little bit of traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Got a few problems here, guys. Southbound 5 before 28th Street. Collision involving a couple vehicles. They're over to the right shoulder. Possible brush or encampment fire. Northbound 5 before Balboa. Some smoke visible from the right shoulder. We also have reports of a collision on the Via Rancho Parkway on-ramp to southbound 15. A message from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You can't avoid holiday traffic or your relatives, but you can avoid car trouble. Swing by Valvoline Instant Oil Change before Thanksgiving. It's your 15-minute drive-through oil change. No appointment needed. Find your nearest location and grab money-saving coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my mic was still off there. Let's bring our guest on. My guy, Beto Duran, handles the Lakers pre and post on the radio. Beto, how are you, my friend? It's been a while.
It's been way too long, but the text messages that we have after most of the Laker games, now that they've been quiet lately.
There's been nothing to fuss about, if I'm being honest. Off to a good start. I don't know that many Laker fans saw it starting out this way. You had LeBron out. You had Luka in this new shape. We were wondering how that was going to happen. What was Austin Reeves going to look like as he gets ready to go into the big? And probably the biggest question mark for me was Ayton. Like, which one are we going to get? And so far, I must say, Beto, I've been pretty impressed with this Lakers squad.
You should be. Are they as good as their record indicates? No, because they've had a blowout win and they also had a blowout loss. It's like it's kind of hard to gauge them a little bit, but they are doing well. They're better than I thought they would be right now. Just because you're trying to figure out how this team's going to gel. And the DeAndre Ayton one is exactly a big surprise for me. When he signed, I was on the air and I was like, man, this guy has the ability.
Right.
Because you know those frustrating athletes, the ones you're like, dude, God gave you everything. Do something with it, right? You're 7 foot. And then there's some days where he shows up last season and he would have 4 points and half of a rebound. And you're like, dude, he's a walking double-double. But he shut me up and he's been playing much better basketball. A lot of that because he is not shooting any threes. He keeps his butt in the paint and he understands his role. And you know this, Tony, when you're on bad teams, like you would be in Portland last year where they're paying you to go away and you're saying basically you're a bad influence around the young guys, you're going to have a little different attitude about yourself. But when he showed up at media day, and I hate sounding like this because Laker fans are so annoying when they say this, when they're like, well, whenever you put on purple and gold, you're going to change. And you're one of them. You are one of them, T. You know you are. You know you are. It's the culture. They're going to change. But DeAndre Ayton, I can tell, is completely different. Because when he would come to the arena last year with Portland, I kid you not, because I'm in the building so early, right? So he would go through the motions when he was working out with his coaches, like, all right, I did my warm-up was just enough, right? We're good. Now he's coming out super early, waiting his turn to work out with the coaches, and he's doing extra stuff. So his attitude is different. I want to see it be consistent for 20-something games, though.
Year 2 for JJ Redick. And the one thing I walked away impressed with JJ is he's not afraid to get in somebody's face. And we've already seen it a few times this year. What has he impressed early on in this season on this team? What is the focus for this staff and this team as they're still trying to figure out how this rotation is going to look consistently?
And the rotation is going to be fluid every single game. You don't know who's going to be in there because of injuries or what they got right now. So they're trying to figure things out. You know what JJ is doing? He's holding guys accountable. Like there was a couple games ago where he went off on Jackson Hayes. And they're winning by double digits, but that's what you need because Jackson Hayes isn't a player that you should be having late in the game because you can't trust him, right? He's good for 12 to 15 minutes, but his rotation was kind of loose about it, kind of whatever about it, and JJ called the timeout just to let him have it. And I like that, holding guys accountable. But he'll get into the face of Luka. He'll get in the face of other players, and JJ is, I think, finally comfortable as a coach to really be able to get after guys. Because in training camp, one of his things was he was pushing these guys like hard for conditioning. And Gabe Vincent even said, the veteran, like, look, if we all hate you because you're making us run sprints, at least
I saw that.
He's like, at least we're united against you, bro. So like we're good. But guys know, and you know this, T, just tell me my role, let me know what time I got to be there, and get out of my way. And he's doing that.
Beto Duran joins us here on Gwynn and Chris, handles the pre and post for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Beto, the Hillbilly Mamba has been on one the whole season. He had a little bit of a down spot. He had to miss a couple games due to a growing issue, but he's playing his tail off. He's playing like a dude who wants to max out his contract at the end of the year. I mean, I'm sure the Lakers knew when they offered the 4-year deal it was last year that he was going to turn it down. I read that he actually appreciated that them going through the process, but this is a dude who seems to be coming into his own in a completely different way than I think people thought at the end of last year.
Yeah, and a lot of the question is like, oh, can he maintain this? Yeah, because the dude is a bucket.
Yeah.
Is he going to play the best defense for you? No. Is he going to be a liability at times? Possibly. But that's why you have a Marcus Smart who's in there and be that dog to knock somebody down. Like, this is Austin Reeves. He can do it. The big question is going to be when LeBron comes back and the rotation's going to be there because he's now your third option. Is he going to be putting up these kind of numbers? No. We got to figure out a way for JJ Redick to see maybe Austin Reeves comes in with the second unit or he's running with the different squad so he can get his numbers. But the ability to get his shot, ability to get points, that is what, without a doubt, who he is. And yeah, he is betting on himself for the biggest possible payday because he has that about him. Yeah. Like, he's from Arkansas, right? So he's from a small area. But the dude was balling in Oklahoma. It's not like people didn't know who he was. He just didn't get drafted. So it was like, maybe whatever. But he knew go to the Lakers would be a good spot for him, be in this opportunity. So he is doing it. He's getting the numbers. And watch him and Luka interact on the bench.
Man.
Like, Reeves is just writing Luka about everything, and he's like, "Man, get out of my face! Keep doing this." Like they get along so well, and Luka likes somebody who isn't gonna bow down to him. More of like, "Oh, you're gonna talk trash to me? I'm gonna talk trash to you." It's like they're going back and forth, man. There's a good vibe about, and I'm not trying to sound the Laker homer because Tony, you can read the receipts on the text messages because I'm one of the biggest.
Beto is one of the biggest critics sometimes. And me and him have basically text arguments all the time about the Lakers from time to time. So,
because you have purple and gold glasses.
That's probably true. There's no lies being told here. Beto Duran joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Beto, okay, what are the chances? Because there were times last year where you saw LeBron kind of let Austin and Luka do their thing. Is there a chance he can come in and see how things have worked and kind of like let them go, and when he needs to do his thing, he does his thing?
I would hope so, but the thing is, because LeBron isn't active and he's not been practicing with the Lakers, you don't have access to him, right? So he's not doing. It's not like baseball where you're in the clubhouse and just go up to somebody. No, at practice they bring a certain amount of people to you, talk to them, and that's it. And so LeBron is working out with the South Bay Lakers. He's going to go get the 5-on-5 with them. So that's a good sign that he's coming back soon, probably after Thanksgiving. But it doesn't take a genius to realize, hey, bro, Luka, Ayton, Reeves, they got a vibe. They got something here. Yeah. And I'm not saying LeBron should be, taking the backseat to him, because at the end of the day, you give me a LeBron James on your team, you're going to make him better. But, I mean, end of the game, it's Luka who should have the ball in his hands, right? This is Luka's team. Yeah. They showed him by giving Luka the big, fat contract. LeBron, we appreciate you, but this is going to be your last year with us here. But LeBron, he has to play well with everybody else, because LeBron is all about legacy. You know this, team, because we have these arguments about it. He cares about how he's going to be perceived at the end of his career. And if he comes in and defers to Luka just enough, I'm not saying all of it, but just enough to where these Lakers are competing for a title, it'd be completely different. Now, if he shows up, takes the ball, and it's in his hands all the time, and the Lakers are losing, it's going to be a terrible look too. So this is where JJ Redick is going to earn his check on how to figure out who's going to get what, the rotations, and where they're going to be.
One of the things, Beto, I saw JJ Redick spent a lot of the offseason in Austin Reeves' ear about this being just as much his team as it was LeBron's and Luka's. And it's hard not to watch Austin Reeves right now and not think to yourself, he kind of is feeling like this is part of his team right now.
Yeah, because JJ said be vocal about it. Like, okay, you're here, but you kind of defer a little bit. Like, and not that he doesn't have that dog in him. It's just more of, bro, you have so many big time type A Eagles in here. You guys do what you got to do. Right. But Austin, watch him. He'll pop off at the other team. He'll go after somebody. Like, he is not scared about it. He's a super hard competitor. But he said he's been underestimated his entire basketball career, because even where he grew up, he wasn't from the big city. So the big city kids were like, well, who's this guy? And then he would crack them, right? Then he'd go to the state championships, crack them. Like, it's just how he is, but it's always been in him, but he never exuded it. But this team's going to be completely different when LeBron comes back. I mean, there's no denying it. LeBron is a different force field, man. You have to just deal with it.
Where do you see the ceiling for this team right now, if all goes well when LeBron returns?
Bro, it is way too early. This is why you should come to host Laker Talk one day with me, please. Like,
because, I might take you up on that.
I catch so much heat from me telling people, relax,
slow down.
Like there is Denver, there is look, San Antonio is good. There is OKC. Like, tonight is going to be a real good test to see where they're at with this and see where they're at. But if everything goes right, they should be a top 4 team. But everything has to go right, and the health and everything else. And it's just, again, the LeBron factor. How is he going to fit in? And I'm not me trying to hate on him or anything like that, but it's just, you're finally seeing a healthy Luka and an in-shape Luka, and a Luka who is doing everything. And Luka's going to get his shots. Also, DeAndre Ayton is asking for shots. Rui Hachimura, we haven't even talked about him, how well he's been playing. Yeah. And Rui is like, cool, man. Like, that guy's been bucking. But look at what the Lakers do a lot. And they finally realize, hey, our big man, put him in the paint. The Lakers are leading the league in mid-range attempts. That's where they should be.
I love watching Rui hit the mid-range jumper. I know it's pissing off all the nerds out there who watch a lot of basketball. They don't like that.
You know what? I don't ever need to see Jared Vanderbilt shoot a 3 ever in my life again. Huh? So take the nerd stuff out of here, man. And if you want to calm down, every now and then just watch Rui Hachimura's TikTok, because he does like these vlogs from when going all over Japan, and like him working with, like the sumo wrestlers, him going to like the temples, and him eating in the streets, man. I'm like, you want to root for that kind of guy.
Well cultured. Beto, last one for me. Lakers recently turned their ownership over to Mark Walters. And for those out here who recognize that name, that is the same guy who owns the Dodgers. I mean, how does this change things for the Lakers and how they operate moving forward?
You're going to have to delete the text I sent you a few years ago about Jeannie Buss. All right. Okay. And I'm putting myself out there. Mind you, I do the Lakers pre and post, and I will say what I say. Jeannie follows me on Twitter, but I remember texting you like, bro, the league is outgrowing the Lakers. They need help. Yep. The mom and pop stuff is not going to happen. You see it down in San Diego, the Silers, right? Like you saw the Dodgers with the O'Malleys. You need the big influx of money. You know what's going to change for the Lakers? It's not that they're going to go and sign everybody, because they can't, because the league has so many restrictions.
Right.
Like if you go into the second apron, you're losing picks and you're getting penalized. It's not the signing of the players. It's what they're going to do is different in the margins. Something as simple as, hey, we need a better hot tub. Cool, we got it. Hey, we need an ice machine. Cool, we got it. I mean, they have that stuff, but just those little kind of details. The analytics department, if they need help with the scouting, right, we give them a boost. They're going to work great in the gray areas,
right,
where, hey, we need something else to help support Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick. They're going to have that. Where right now, their hands might be tied about some of those kind of things. So it's not the on-court product that's going to get the, oh my God, let's go sign Giannis and SGA and we'll give them all the money. They can't do that. But if you're a free agent and you come up and you're like, damn, you guys are going top notch.
Facilities is kind of weak, right? You can address that kind of stuff now, right?
You can address, but hey, something as simple as like the Lakers private plane right now. I mean, nothing against Delta, but it could get an upgrade.
Nothing against Delta. Listen,
for that little detail, they don't have their own plane.
I can confirm that. I've flown on a few Deltas myself here, so
yeah. But other teams in the league have their own plane.
Yeah, well, I hear you. It's good to be a Laker, I guess, these days. Beto,
Damn right it
is. As always, man, appreciate you coming on, spend some time with us, my man.
Love you, Tom.
Love you too, dog. Beto Duran covers the Lakers pre and post all year long. Fun to catch up with. I hadn't talked to Beto in a little bit. Lakers in action tonight, 8-3, I believe, as they head into this matchup against OKC, the defending champs, on ESPN. Should be fun.
That should be a good game, actually. We'll put it up on the TV here soon.
No, I don't think it starts until 6:30. So
we
won't
put it up
be
on the
here
TV
there,
during
buddy.
the Skraby show. Did you hear what I'm doing tomorrow after the show? Because we don't have a Skraby show. I have put together. I am going to do a Rubik's Cube on the Skraby show YouTube live, and I'm going to give myself 45 minutes.
People want to watch you do a Rubik's Cube?
They've asked me to do it. They've asked me to do it because it came up a couple months ago because there was a kid who solved it in like 3 seconds.
It's so funny you brought up a Rubik's Cube. Out of the blue, my son is like, have you ever finished a Rubik's Cube? I was like, no. And if you do, you'll be the first one in this family to ever do it. Just want you to know that.
I'm nervous. I put a 45-minute time limit on myself because I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours.
I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it either.
But
there was a kid who did it in like 3 seconds. And so that's why it all came up. They're like, hey, you should do a YouTube live of you trying to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Tell me so I'm not on the airways when you do that.
It will be at 5:30 tomorrow at the Skraby Show on YouTube.
Let's get to break. 4 o'clock hour on the way. More Gwynn and Chris. Matt Skraby, Chris Ello out. Good conversation with my man Beto Duran. Talking a little Lakers. This is a time where we normally would play Chris versus the fans or Tony versus the fans. Unfortunately, we can't play that today.
Mm-hmm.
I will allow Skraby, if he chooses to let you know why, but he's got a new game that he wants to play that I'm not that keen on. And I'm gonna be honest.
Why is that?
Because it's about me, and I don't really necessarily enjoy talking about myself.
I know. We're gonna go and play Tony versus the fans tomorrow, mainly because I didn't write questions, but I
wasn't gonna out you.
It did write other questions, so we're gonna change the game a little bit, and it's gonna be about Tony's playing career. I'm gonna ask him questions about his playing career, and then the caller's gonna guess whether or not they think you know it.
Oh, we're actually involving callers on this too.
Oh, of course. So we're just going to kind of play this game and see what happens. Tomorrow we'll be back to Tony versus the fans.
All right. Well, before we get into the game, because I don't know how long this is going to actually
833-288-0973.
And what is the prize you're giving out for this?
Oh, the prize is going to be a good one. It's a Sammy Hagar prize. I know that. Yes, it is. Grand prize, a trip for two to see the Sammy Hagar show in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the March 20th show, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, and a $100 gas card. I should say you'll be qualified if you win, not you won't win the grand prize until the end of the month. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy solo hits, and more, only in Las Vegas this March 11th through the 21st and September 18th through the 26th at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. So that's what we're doing there.
Real quick, because I didn't see it. Do you know why Amon-Ra St. Brown is apologizing?
Yes, I do.
Is that a big five?
No.
What is he apologizing for?
He got punched by another player during a game. That player got ejected, but videos come out showing Amon-Ra punching the guy
a couple plays earlier.
2 plays earlier. So that's why he's apologizing.
I also see that he got into the end zone and did Donald's dance.
He did the Donald dance because he was there.
I think he's also apologizing about that too.
Why is he apologize? I mean, you don't need to apologize for that. It's
he
just
said
a dance.
if he offended anyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. He must have gotten some mentions.
he must have.
I can understand the dance because the president was there. So he thought it was cool to point at the president and do a dance.
You have to have like elite non-rhythm to do that dance.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown probably has rhythm.
He probably does, which makes it even more impressive.
That's why I would be great at the Donald dance.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, let's try this game that you have here, buddy.
Yeah, we're just gonna get into it.
We have no music, no nothing.
We're gonna have a bed for the questions.
No, if this game is not good, we don't need for a bed.
If this game is not good, we are.
And by the way, my career isn't long enough for us to do it that many times. We're gonna have like 2 games that we could do.
No, I told you tomorrow we're back to Tony versus the fans.
Thank you.
Because you're not comfortable with this whole thing. All right, let's get to our first contestant. Oh, I need to read the rules, which are there's no rules today. We're making up rules as we go. So there we go. Let's go to our guy John in Temecula.
Hello, John. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Tony. Hello, Skraby. Doing great. Commute home. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing all right. We're about to try this game out here. Hopefully, it's worth something.
So, what you're gonna do?
Yeah,
John,
I heard. Let's see what Skraby's got up his sleeve, huh?
All right. So, what you're gonna do is gonna get. I'll just prompt you. Just be ready, Tony.
All right.
Yes.
Don't answer. I'm going to ask the question, then you go back to John. The question is, what pitcher struck you out the most in your career? John, do you think Tony's going to know this or not?
Oh, yeah. Tony's going to know that.
Tony knows this. Tony, do you know who struck you out the most in your career?
Matt Cain.
Matt Cain. Incorrect. So John moves on. I like this game already. It was, I mean, you struck out against a guy who struck out a lot of people. Ubaldo Jimenez.
Oh, yeah. He got me a few times. All right.
Yeah. So there we go. This is kind of how this game is going to work. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to add a bed. What season did you have the most hits for the entire year? What year?
2009.
2000. Oh, wait, I was supposed to ask John. But, John, do you think Tony got the right answer or not?
Yes.
He does. That is correct. So, John, you are eliminated. I'm sorry. Wait.
I got it right. That's all I know. It's your game.
Oh, wait, no.
so
John is not eliminated.
He's not eliminated.
I'm not very good at this.
Because he said I would get it right.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this coming up with rules on the air thing. So we're gonna go on to our next contestants or our next question. All right, Tony. Here's a tough one. Name 3 guys of the 7 that you hit a home run off of. John, do you think he's gonna know this?
Yeah, he knows that for sure.
Okay, he knows that for sure. Tony,
I got to name how many?
3 of the 7.
Wow. Hold on. It's gonna come to you. Kevin Millwood.
Okay.
I'm drawing blanks now all of a sudden. Man. Rodrigo Lopez.
Okay. Gonna need a third one.
I can't remember the straight leg. Dude, you pitch for the Reds. Oh my God, it's gonna bother me. Okay, Chad Billingsley.
Chad Billingsley. All right. Well, you did get it right, which means I don't even know what that means, to be honest.
He said I was gonna get it right, so that's 3.
Okay, John, you win.
Terrible game.
This was maybe John, stay there. This was maybe one of the worst games I've ever come up with.
You didn't quite think that.
No. I thought this was gonna be a hit.
No.
You did get 3. The straight leg guy, Bronson
Arroyo. Dang.
I've never heard of this guy. Edgar Escalona,
Colorado.
Zach Greinke.
Yeah. Forgot about that one.
Felix or King Felix.
King Felix.
You had some good home runs. You had Zach Greinke.
King Felix was inside the Parker, if I'm being honest. I didn't hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Still counts. You still had to run around the bases.
It does indeed.
Cole says started strong, finished rough. Yeah, that was
I just had a feeling that this wasn't gonna go well.
Tony tried to talk me out of it.
I did.
I was like, I believe in this game.
I was like, you sure you don't have any questions we can just like make up? You know you're good at making up terrible questions.
Yeah.
He really wanted to try the game. So
hey, audience, I apologize for just wasting the last 7 minutes of your life.
Michigan State University hit with a 3-year probation ban in football.
Whoa.
Do you remember he had a great season? Do you remember Mel Tucker?
Yeah. Mel Tucker, the
head coach, right?
Yes.
For Michigan State.
Yes.
Remember, he was had a great season, and then it all came crashing down once started peeling back that curtain. It wasn't going to it. This is in relation to that. The violations occurred due to participation in 3 ineligible players. Now the Spartans will vacate all 14 wins from the past 3 seasons. A school spokesperson confirmed that includes all 5 wins last season during Jonathan Smith's first year as a coach.
I don't understand why they take away wins. It doesn't mean anything, really.
It really doesn't.
I guess it hurts the coach because now he doesn't have those wins to his credit. But
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't. They've already played the season. They've already done what they're going to do. They've already gone to their bowl game. But wasn't there something else with this guy? It was like
some misconduct
stuff. Allegations. Also, his team. Was it his team when Michigan State?
Was that his team?
When they were throwing helmets.
They jumped a dude.
Yeah, they jumped a player in the ramp back to the locker rooms. It was kind of crazy.
All bad. Mike McDaniels had a thought of you over the weekend after watching him talking about Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
He said he's forever indebted to Dan Quinn because that was who helped him when he had his drinking problem.
Yep. I would find it really hard to be an alcoholic and an NFL coach at the same time. But that's what Mike McDaniel was doing. So I have a whole nother level of respect for him. But I like when
he
stories
might not be
like
doing
this.
it for very much longer, but I'm just saying.
True.
That's that's something that seemed like it could trigger you back down that.
Yeah, and you know what? Taking over a head coaching job, assuming all that pressure, not doing well, it is dangerous.
But on the flip side, it could also keep him on the path he's on, because there's so much that you're managing. You don't really have time to throw one back, I guess.
Yeah, it's no.
I mean, I guess you find time to do it, but
that's the thing in AA is, oh well, I don't have time to go to the meetings. Well, you found time to drink, so you can find time to go to the meetings, sir. But I like that Dan Quinn was able to help him. I didn't know that about Dan Quinn either, but I did know that Mike McDaniel was sober, and I'm glad that he's doing well, because that would be tough.
Not only is he a head football coach, he's also doing it in Miami. Like, there's a lot of temptation everywhere for him.
I mean, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was a coach that was kicked off the Miami coaching staff because he was doing drugs at the facility.
I forgot about that.
Like, insane.
Was that 10 years ago? It might have been less than that.
It may have been, but I know it happened like recent-ish.
Crazy.
But that dude was actually doing drugs in the facility, which is crazy to me.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, we jump right back into Aztec hoops. LZ Harrington, the freshman we've been raving about, he's going to join us next. Talk a little more basketball, more Gwynn and Chris.
When it comes to
We jump right into it. Our next guest having a good start to his freshman season. LZ Harrington joins us, freshman guard on the Aztecs hoop team. LZ, how are you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm good. Just got out of practice like an hour ago. Yeah, I'm good.
LZ, you guys, you showed up, I would assume. At what point did you get on campus and start to kind of assimilate yourself?
Well, we started, I want to say our summer session started July 7th. But me and Tay got here a little early. We got here like June, like the second week of June.
So you guys
started doing workouts and stuff. We've been here for a minute, yeah.
So you guys have been here for a minute. Season starts. You guys are off to a pretty good start. You're getting some good minutes, being able to contribute. What's been your takeaway being on the Mesa for as long as you've been here since June and the start to the season so far?
I mean, honestly, it's just been really fun. I think practice every day, like how hard practice is, has prepared me so well for the games. Like it's made the games, I don't want to say easy, but like it feels easy just compared to what I'm used to seeing every day. But yeah, it's just been fun, and I'm so grateful that the coaches trust me enough to play me as much as they've been playing me, and I'm super excited, to continue next week with Troy, and then we get to go to Vegas.
Yeah, you guys, the schedule seems to start to get a little bit tougher as we move forward. You come in to San Diego State with a pretty decorated high school career. I mean, you had opportunities to go, through the old Pac-12, USC, UCLA, Arizona State, even a place like Harvard. What was it about San Diego State that, grabbed your attention and had you wanting to be a part of it?
I mean, the biggest thing for me was just like the family culture. I know you've heard that before. It's just like how the coaches and the players treat everybody. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, yeah, we're basketball players, but we're humans first. And so like human stuff that comes up, like they're giving with that, and like it won't affect your minutes or how much they believe in you on the basketball court. Like they understand that we're people first, and they really pour into that aspect of our life. So like that's the biggest thing for me.
Talking to LZ Harrington of the Aztecs basketball team here on 97.3 The Fan. And as Tony pointed out, you were very decorated in high school. You were named Max Preps California All-State Teams, CIF Southern Section All-Open Division Team, Trinity League Co-MVP. I could go on and on and on. But what are some of your goals now that you're at the college level, and what are you trying to accomplish this year?
So I feel like most of my goals right now are team-based, because I don't really want to get caught up in like player goals, because that's when you put unnecessary pressure on yourself, in my opinion. So like as a team, I feel like we're so good, and we should win the Mountain West, and we should go deep in the tournament. Like I don't like my goals as a team are more on my mind than self goals, but like I'd be lying if I said I don't want to be like the freshman of the year in the Mountain West, and like I don't want to go to the NBA, and I don't want to do those things. But like I just think as a team, we should definitely win the last year of the Mountain West, and like I feel like we have the team and we have the depth to go really far in the tournament. So those are my two main goals.
Yeah, look, there's no shame in wanting to accomplish those things. I think us Aztecs fans want you to accomplish those things. It generally mean that the team is probably playing pretty well. You guys, as I mentioned, you guys getting ready to start playing the tougher part of the schedule, right? Troy next week. You move into the players tournament there. You got Michigan, you got Oregon, and perhaps some other tough teams. I mean, how much did that getting a taste of that kind of play when you guys scrimmaged against UCLA there, how much does that come into play in terms of preparing you for that type of competition?
You're saying like how much did the UCLA game prepare me?
Yeah.
Or just these games before? Yeah, I think UCLA, it was really good that we got to play a top team first because for one, it makes it like it can't get any harder than this. Like that's your mindset, especially not playing a college game before.
Right.
You play UCLA first and you're like, okay, this is the best of the best. So that was really good. But honestly, by the second half, by the time I was out there, I was like, it's just basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it helped me realize that just because they're a top team, like, we're still out there playing basketball and it's the same game. And it's honestly more fun when the teams are good, in my opinion. Like, it brings the best out of you. And so those are games I look forward to the most. And, yeah, I'm super grateful for that UCLA game, and I'm super excited for all the big games we have coming up.
You guys were able to kind of dismantle Long Beach State, Idaho State, gave the best effort they could, but you guys pretty much handled them as well. I mean, in terms of how you fit into this rotation and the things that you bring to the table, just talk a little bit about those things. We saw you kind of handle the ball on the break. I saw you finish on the break. What's the strongest part of your game right now, you think?
I just think I've been a playmaker my whole high school career, and so I think that's just what I have the most reps at is making plays, whether that's passing or scoring. Yeah, I think that's probably my best attribute. Like, I feel like I'm good at thinking the game and like figuring out what's going to work versus what's not going to work. But I also understand like we have a lot of playmakers on our team too, and so it's not always about that. It's about how can I affect the game on the defensive end, and how can I try to get a rebound? That's something I'm trying to work on. And I'm really learning that there's so many different ways you can affect the game. That you don't need the ball in your hands. Like, you can do so much. And so I think that's another big benefit of me coming to school here, is having to play with a bunch of talented guys. Yeah.
Freshman hooper LZ Harrington joins us here. Freshman on the San Diego State hoop team. And LZ, was it difficult when you first got acclimated? And I know coming in that this program is about defense. How was it? Everything you expected when you got on campus, or was it a little bit of shock to the system?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that. So, like, I knew, like, people can tell you one thing, but then when you experience it, it's totally different. So, like, I've heard, practices are hard and it's a lot of defense and it's a grind and all that. And, like, when you hear that, you're like, okay, but you can't really prepare for it until you're in it. And so, yeah, being thrown in the fire the first however long practice was really rough, honestly. It was really physical. But, I mean, that's what you want, though. Like, you grow in uncomfortable situations. And so I feel like, I mean, it served me well. And like I said, it's made the games feel a lot better because I feel like I'm overly prepared in practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, you got the Mesa, up in a frenzy. I don't know that we've had a freshman that has gotten everybody this excited as you have, man. We certainly are behind you 100%, man. I want to continue to see you do well. Thanks for coming on and spending some time with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. LZ Harrington, freshman guard out of Long Beach. Getting a chance to get to meet the young man. He is an exciting player. He plays bigger than 6'5" to me when he's out on that court.
Yeah, 6'5" pretty massive for I think Mark Ziegler even said he was 6'6", so maybe he's listed an inch.
He might be a little bit
too short.
Just could still be growing at this young age of his. Just switching gears, they have announced an American League Cy Young.
Yes, they have.
Who do you think it was?
Tarek Skubal.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a kind of no-brainer there.
Garrett Crochet kind of deserved
By the way, Garrett
it.
Crochet wasn't even. He couldn't make the. There was just a 2-person video there. It was Hunter Brown.
Oh, that's true.
And Tariq Skubal. Crochet wasn't even on the screen. I don't know if he had other things or something popped up, but
I mean, do they tell you? They don't tell you before, right?
of course they do. That's how they you're up for it.
No. I mean, like they don't tell you if you win or not.
I don't know if they tell you if you win or not.
Because I was gonna say maybe he knew he was
going to
win.
By the way, I love Tariq Skubal. Everywhere he's got his like whole family.
He does.
And when I say whole family, I'm not talking about just immediate. Looks like some cousins, some.
There's like 20 people there.
There's a ton of people there. He wins really running away. Crochet, he had 198 total points. Crochet had 132, and Brown had 80. Max Fried 61. Brendan Wu? Brian Wu. He had 26. So Skubal's your Cy Young Award winner. We wait for the National League
What do you think? I've been reading a lot that Skubal might be traded. Do you think?
As he's going, he's been telling me he's going to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh,
too.
no, because they would actually have to make a trade. They can't just throw a bunch of money at him.
They did that to get Mookie Betts and some of the other guys. They have to, but never mind facts or anything.
You know what I did like though? Actually, we're going to talk about it in the Big Five in about 7-8 minutes. Paul Skeens said he wants to play for one team.
Well, I don't think Paul's going to have much say in that. Sorry.
Who do I think is going to win NL?
Who do you think is going to win National League? Skeens?
Has to be.
Christopher Sanchez has got some. He's got some momentum.
I do think there is something about being on a winning team.
I can't wait for tomorrow's, personally.
The MVP.
If the AL goes anything like it could go, there is going to be some upset people.
If Cal doesn't win,
if Cal wins,
there's going
to be a lot of upset people.
Get over yourselves, people.
I saw so they had, I think it was ESPN, but they had like a writer from Seattle, a writer from New York, and the way my man in New York was talking was like it would just be an atrocious decision.
What are we watching?
If it's even close.
What are we watching versus what are they watching?
I mean, if we're being nerds and statistical, just going off the stats alone, it really isn't that close, if we're being honest. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Judge's numbers, if just across the board, are just.
I mean, he did almost hit 400 for like the first 2 months.
However, it's the most value. And at the catching position, catching however many games he caught, and I know he wasn't the highest rated defender this year as he has been in the past, he still had to carry that load while also hitting 60-plus homers. That is going to matter in writers' eyes, no matter how you slice it. Because all of these writers aren't necessarily numbers guys in all cases.
Really?
You got to think about the dudes who have votes.
Yeah.
Not the younger generation of writer. So I mean they're all going to be factoring that stuff in, but I just have a feeling there's going to be some upset folks if it's not Aaron Judge tomorrow.
One of my favorite things about the baseball award season is we get to see who votes for everybody and everything.
We do.
So
we do.
Last year we went after the Jackson Merrill people.
It's not. You don't have to reveal who you are, right?
That's true.
All right, let's get to break. Big Five? On the other
Big
side?
Five. We got a ton in the Big Five, including Paul Skeens. Tony found a funny picture.
It's such a guy thing. This picture is it's such a guy thing. Let's get to break. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. LZ Harrington was brought to you by David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We have ourselves a Big Five, and Skraby spent the time doing his Big Five versus the Gwynn versus the fan questions. And so this, we all should feel like should be an absolute doozy.
It's going to be a doozy.
This hour of sports talk is brought to you by SD Collectibles. Get ready, sports and Pokemon collectors.
Ooh.
Yeah, SD Collectible Cards show is back at Liberty Station with over 1,000 vendor tables, November 22nd and 23rd. Find sports cards, Pokemon, memorabilia, and more. Visit sdcollectibles.com for info. That's sdcollectibles.com. I turn it over to Skraby after some traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans. Got a collision heading out of the South Bay, northbound side of the 5J Street off-ramp. Couple vehicles over to the right shoulder. Accident clearing from the Via Rancho Parkway on-ramp to South 15. And an accident has been cleared out of lanes on westbound 78 near Mar Vista. Just watch out for a little residual slowing there.
My mom, works for Caltrans. On the freeway, right next to speeding cars. Please be careful. Flashing lights mean move over. Brought to you by the kids of Caltrans.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. We're still awaiting the winner of the National League Cy Young Award, but what we did get to see was Paul Skeens being interviewed for his before the award was given out, and he definitely put some money into people to help him.
It's always funny to see the money start to matriculate itself through the person's life.
That's very true.
You know, he went from a college, like literally a college student, into pro ball.
Yep.
And it doesn't happen as fast as you think it does, right?
No.
I think as a rookie, especially one that got to the big leagues as fast as Paul Skeens, like you still have a college mindset, and you get, I don't know if the right word is influenced.
Okay.
By your big league teammates. Hey man, you can't be walking in here. You're a big leaguer now. You can't look like that.
I think Tommy Pham was that guy.
I'll tell you what. I guarantee he learned a few things from Tommy Pham.
I just thought it was because of Livy Dunn.
I mean, listen, he's been with Livy Dunn for
a while.
That wasn't the change. The common denominator was big leagues.
She's always been with Paul Skeens, no matter what
she couldn't help that style. But all of a sudden, he got some that money started to matriculate itself through his life. His skin looks a little bit clearer.
He's got a Raising Cane's commercial now.
He's still gonna have to come up with some personality.
Yeah, he definitely needs
still
that.
Very dry, and it might not be his thing. I ain't mad at that, but I have enjoyed watching the money kind of work its way through and looking better up on screen now. I remember last year when he was up there, he looked stiff.
We were
as
all
a board.
talking about it. We're like, he's probably scared because Livy Dunn is staring at him.
It looked like he had the one jacket left that he had at LSU before he got one.
It's like smoking jacket.
Right. Today, he looks like, oh, I've been here before. I'm make sure I look. You know, a lot of times what happens too is you see yourself on TV for the first time,
and you see the jokes.
Like, damn, I'm gonna have to do better. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it, but next time I show up, I'm gonna show up correct.
And he does.
He did. I ain't mad.
There was another. Tony showed me this, and I put it on our Gwynn and Chris Instagram. Just go to Instagram, Gwynn and Chris, and it's on the story. But there was a guy who saw them, Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn, in the airport, and got a picture with Paul Skeens. I'm assuming Livy Dunn.
Both.
Yeah, I'm assuming Livy Dunn took the first one.
You don't need to assume. Just look at the photos, and you know who took one picture, and you know who took the other.
Because Paul Skeens did not care that this guy wanted a picture with his girlfriend at all.
He cut his head clean off.
Clean off. There is no head in the picture.
It's one of the funny things that Kevin Hart does. You know how he's so short.
Yeah.
He purposely, like, if you take a picture with him and you're taller than him, like a lot taller, like most people are, he's making sure he is centered in the camera at all times. So if you are, 5'11", 6 foot, off with your head, he says.
That's hilarious. That is
every
so
one
funny.
of his pictures.
See, that's fine with me because then I have that story behind it. But I think Paul Skeens just was like, I don't care.
Just
click.
That's exactly right.
And this guy, I mean, it is a little weird to ask to take a picture with someone's girlfriend in the airport.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Paul, I mean, that's kind of the way of life. I mean, his significant other is as famous, if not more famous, than he is.
Yeah, so both of them get the questions, but hilarious. Gwynn and Chris Instagram story. You'll see that post.
Number 5.
So that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is something that was given to, I believe, Talking Baseball. And it was from an anonymous Pirates teammate, Tony. And he says this. We were talking about maybe the Dodgers going after Skubal. Well, they're not going to ever get Paul Skeens, apparently, because Paul Skeens' anonymous teammate said, trust me, he wants to play for the Yankees. I've heard him say it multiple times. Tony, you're up first. Why would an anonymous teammate do this?
There's so many clout chasers out there.
But anonymous.
That's what I'm saying. You're not even getting anything out of this.
Put your name on it. You can't.
I just think it's whack that you like. If your teammate told you that and then you turned around and was an anonymous guy, like,
yeah,
I mean, trust me, he wants to go to the Yankees.
That's
even if it's true,
yeah,
it's
just weird. Why are you talking about another guy's like future?
I don't know.
It is very strange.
I don't know who raised these folks.
But I will tell you this: Paul Skeens, well, he does have a beard. Oh, I guess they do allow beards now. He would be a perfect Yankee because he doesn't have a pulse and he doesn't care about he doesn't care about any of the outside noise. From what we see,
that's because he's playing in Pittsburgh right now.
We'll see.
We'll see how that really feels when he goes out there. Listen, if he continues to throw the ball the way he won't have a problem anywhere.
No, everybody's gonna cheer him forever.
But
Number 4.
Everybody's cool with New York until they get in New York, and they got to find out what that heat is real like.
Good point. I can barely handle the San Diego sports talk heat. Mike Kafka, I'm going to call him Kafka. He's the guy who is the interim head coach of the New York Giants. He made his first big decision. He has made a change to the quarterback depth chart, and Jameis Winston is going to start if Jackson Dart is unavailable Sunday against the Packers at home. The breakout rookie remains in concussion protocol, and the expectations he's not going to clear the protocol in time to play this weekend. Winston moves ahead of Russell Wilson, who started the first 3 games this season and then served as Dart's backup when he came out of the game the other day. So I'm up first. Is Russell Wilson done? I mean, I guess the writing's on the wall. I don't know why they would put Jameis Winston cannot be better than Russell Wilson. I just can't. I can't go there. I just don't think.
Why can't you go there?
Because Jameis Winston's been the emergency quarterback all year. There's a reason that he's the emergency quarterback.
He's just been the third string
quarterback. That's the emergency quarterback.
Is it?
Yeah. You have to designate someone as emergency quarterback.
Emergency quarterback.
Is Russell Wilson done? I figure he'll go to one other place, but I think he's coming close to the end here. I think he is. Tony?
Yeah, it pains me to say it. I think he is coming up towards the end. I don't want it to be that way. But it looks like that.
It does.
He hasn't looked good outside of one of the starts he had this year. He didn't look good in the backup moments when Dart left concussed again.
For the fourth, well, he's been checked 4 times this year.
Right. We don't know exactly how many he's had.
At least one, because
I think that Jameis is going to do fine. I don't think that he's not capable of being a better backup than Wilson is right now. So Don't have much of a choice because Dart's not coming back right now.
Not right now. No, he should probably sit out one game.
Number 3.
Get Up's Mike Greenberg has an interesting name for Giants head coach, and it's not Bill Belichick. Have you seen those floating around, Tony? All of a sudden, the Giants head coach job becomes available. Bill Belichick's name goes through, but it's not him. Here's what Mike Greenberg said. You got Malik Neighbors, you got Jackson Dart, you got Abdul Carter, and a bunch of other good players. That's going to be the most desirable job for coaches out there. And I'm just going to throw a name into the conversation. Mike Tomlin. End quote. Tony, do you think it's time for a change of scenery for Mike Tomlin?
No, not until we see how this project goes. I mean, it's probably one of the better teams he's had in a little bit, at least offensively. Defenses does look like they're starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
They are.
So, no, I don't think it's time. I don't see Mike Tomlin as that type of guy anyway. He seems like a very loyal individual. Now, if the Steelers aren't going to be loyal to him, which it doesn't seem like. It seems like even though the noise was pretty loud to move on from Mike Tomlin, that is not what they did.
Sure.
That's probably why Pittsburgh is always in a good spot because they have smart people and they kind of let them do their thing. But I think the owner element is if I'm Mike Tomlin and I just watched Brian Dable get fired and the GM stay, and that GM's then going to be able to hire me. I don't know if I really want that.
It's not a good situation.
I don't know if that situation's good.
Which I still don't know how the GM has his job.
I think many New Yorkers have the same question.
Yeah, I could see all the comments right now in my, like the owner said, well, he's put together a small nucleus of good players. And all the fans are like, it's taking him 5 years to get 3 guys? Like, what? What are we doing here?
Only with the playoffs one of those times, too. So it should have been more fruitful than that.
Yeah, I mean, he also literally on camera let Saquon Barkley leave in free agency. That's the fireable
that
offense
could
in
go
itself.
down as the one that we all remember. Because we got this. That was when they were still doing the
off-season hard knocks?
Hard knocks? Yeah.
Yeah. Do I think it's time? I can't see him going to New York and joining kind of a circus of an organization. They're not fully circus organization, but the Steelers have a much better base for him right now.
Number 2.
Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Jair Alexander has stepped away from football to focus on physical and mental recovery from off-season knee surgery, a league source told ESPN. The Eagles placed him on the reserve retired list today and activated quarterback Jacorian Bennett from injured reserve. Alexander informed the team of his decision Tuesday, the day after their win against the Packers on Monday Night Football, a former team of his, a game he did not attend. There's also reports that he is considering stepping away from the game completely and retiring. So this is a total Skraby question here. Should you be able to reverse this trade? Because the Eagles traded for him at the deadline, got him, has not played a game with the Eagles, and now he's stepping away to deal with some stuff. So my question is, if you're the Eagles, should you get recourse for it? And the answer is it's never going to happen. But yeah, I think so, Tony.
Why?
Because maybe the Ravens knew something that the Eagles didn't know. Maybe they knew he was going to step away or something. So they got some draft picks for it, and then he did. But
what if they didn't know?
Well, that pokes a hole in my theory. It pokes a hole in my whole thing, Tony. But I think that if a guy gets traded to a team, you give up draft picks, and then immediately he decides that he might retire, there's got to be some recourse.
That's part of the risk of making a deal. You don't know
I guess.
You know what you think you're getting, but you don't know what you're actually getting.
I guess. I mean, I know you're right. It just feels weird to me.
It's one of those tough luck situations, right? I mean, Eagles are an organization that above board. They do their homework.
Yeah.
Now consider this was a last minute deal. Maybe they took a flyer, what kind of picks they give up, by the way?
Like 6th and 7th rounders. So it wasn't like a huge
Eagles
prize.
stockpile those type of picks too. So I don't know. I don't think I think when you are making a trade, there is risk that comes along with it. This is part of it. I don't think it happens often where a guy's like, I need a mental break.
Yeah.
But you are playing football, and we just saw what happened to the young man in Dallas. Like these mental health situations,
Marshawn Nealon,
can spiral out in ways that you can't imagine. So, let's hope Jair Alexander gets himself back ready and get that bark first, and then you worry about the football after. But I don't think there should be any recourse. You get what you get.
You made a good point, though, with I think he's obviously doing the right thing, step away and focus on his mental health and recovery from knee surgery, because you're right. Marshawn Nealon, it should be a reminder that sometimes you just shouldn't push through it.
Step away. Yeah.
Number 1.
All right. Justin Turner has been released by the... No, he wasn't even on the Mets. Anyway, 12 years and 1,416 hits. I don't know what's happening.
Wait, was he released?
No, I think he was on the Cubs last year. Anyway, I got this from John Heyman. Let me just read his tweet.
Yeah, go ahead, dog.
12 years and 1,417 hits after the Mets released him. Justin Turner, now 40, would love to keep playing. He's here in Las Vegas to play in the MLB golf event. He says it's up to the other 30 clubs. If he does call it a career, Tony, how will Justin Turner be remembered? Are we going to forget completely about Justin Turner in 30 years?
Justin's a really, really good ball player. I don't think Padre fans are.
Oh, no. He's going to be firmly implanted in our head.
He's
going
to be in the black men conversation of Padre killers.
Oh, yeah. Young Gomes can go in there as well.
For sure. I think we'll remember him as a really good ball player. And for me, a guy that was in a similar role that I was and turned his career into a point where he could have 1,400 hits. 1,400 hits. That's crazy. I mean, for a guy who spent the first half of his career as a platoon guy and then turned himself into a marquee guy in one of the biggest stages, that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all. And if someone annoys you like Justin Turner annoyed me, that means you're pretty good, because you don't get annoyed by people who aren't good. So
that is correct. Great. Glad you noticed that.
I'm glad we're making it through this show.
5 o'clock means the happy hour. On the other side, more Gwynn and Chris. hour. Welcome in, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Chris Ello out. 5 o'clock is here. We have ourselves a National League Cy Young winner, and it was not an upset. Paul Skeens. Unanimously.
Don't know why I clicked the applause.
I don't know why either. I was about to say, much to the chagrin of Skraby, and then he hits the clap button. So maybe he's excited about it.
It's not a chagrin anymore. I was only chagrinning when he beat out Jackson Merrill for Rookie of the Year.
Chagrining him all year, every time he threw the baseball well.
I'm gonna have to stop chagrining.
Yeah, we've been trying to tell you that for a long time.
He's very good.
He's really good.
He won it unanimously. And Scuba won American League.
My man Skeens. Sometimes I forget Skeens is from California. You wouldn't think that just initially. But it had his significant other, Livy Dunn, next to him.
Yes.
Family, full room full of tumblers. It looked like he had one on the table. I'm not sure if it was his brother on the left or not, but he had one. And it's always fun to look at the people around.
Oh yeah,
and how uncomfortable they are.
They're like, do I move? Do I smile? Should I do something?
It was almost like somebody told me, if you blink, it's over.
It's over. He's going to lose the award.
He barely moved any piece of his body at all.
I really appreciated that Paul Skeens has his name Paul on his Tumblr, which he legitimately didn't have.
I again commend Paul for his step up in just presentation now.
Everything was great.
He's a big leaguer.
He is a big leaguer now.
For sure. Didn't get to play it for you earlier, but Bob Nightingale upset quite a few Padre fans with some words he had on foul territory.
Well, they got so many backloaded contracts where they've lost money the last few years. When you talk to GMs around the land, they say these guys are in big time trouble. They're losing money even though they're back in the place. So you can't trade Manny Machado. You can't trade Xander Bogaerts. Tatis's contract, as big as it is actually movable. I don't think they'll trade him this winter, but I think at some point, you talk to GMs, at some point you're going to have to move him. You're going to have to get rid of one of these big contracts. You're not moving Darvish, you're not moving Musgrove or Machado or Bogaerts. He's a guy that's actually still has value, even with that big contract.
A lot of things to unpack.
Not a fan of this.
I figured you wouldn't be. Nobody wants to hear that Fernando could be on the block. Now, mind you, this is Bob. This is Bob's kind of opinion on what he's been hearing.
Yes.
Around. Few things. Much like Skraby, there are a lot of GMs that hate. They're just clean.
Wait, I'm shaking my head yes, and it just hit me what you said.
I snuck that in there. You didn't catch it. Much like Skraby. There are people that they're just gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? I would like to know which GMs these are, because based on what we see, there's a lot of GMs that don't know what they're doing or talking about.
Good
for that
point.
matter. So, I'm just saying. I told you earlier that owners probably are not happy with the Padres in terms of what they spend in the quote unquote type of market they are in. But I'm sure there are a lot of GMs that hate that AJ is outthinking them in a lot of ideas that they would help them in their situation.
He's a former GM, but I know one guy who doesn't like it. Samson.
He don't even think he's a GM. I think he was just
worked in the front office.
Maybe he was the GM, but yeah, he has some issues with.
So Fernando's contract
with AJ
right now is totally team friendly.
What does he have on his remaining on his contract?
Remaining, he has. There's a lot of money remaining.
How many years does he have left?
Let's see, 1, 2,
maybe
9.
9 years remaining.
This coming year, $20 million, 21 rounding up, 26 next year.
Following year,
2028, 26, and then for the rest of the contract, it goes up to 36.7 for a good 6 years.
Yeah.
And that will be when that kicks in, he'll be 30. He'll still be in his prime.
And so that's probably why the contract is movable if that's the way they go. In that frame of time, can Toddy reach the level that everybody is expecting him to reach? Right? Because you said 20 this year? 23 this year?
No, 21 rounding up, 21 this year.
21 this year. 26 next year.
Correct. 2027 is 26.
And then 36
in 2029.
So in the next couple of years, can he reach the potential that everybody has expected, right? Because I think you can justify 21 at the levels. You may be able to justify 26 at the level. But once it gets to 36 at the age of 30, in terms of production, can you justify it at that level? And that probably the answer is probably no.
The answer is no, but there's not many guys that are going to be able to produce. I mean, you have to be a top 3 guy to make it worth the money.
I don't know that you have to be a top 3 guy.
I'm talking, I mean, both sides of the ball at the plate and playing defensively.
I don't know if you need to put top. You just know it when you see it, right?
Yeah, true.
I don't know if it's going to be top 3 or not, but you'll know it when you see it. But I don't know that that's something that everybody needs to worry about right now. You heard even Bob said that he doesn't think it's going to happen this year.
I know. Then why throw it out there?
Why do you think, Skraby?
Because he wants the clicks and he's on foul territory.
What are we doing right now?
We're talking about it.
We are indeed. So was it a miraculous, beautifully well-laid plan?
Yes,
it was indeed.
And I hate when we fall into this plan.
Well, we had 4 hours to cover, so it had to be brought up at some point there, buddy. Ryan Lindley will join us next segment, talk a little bit about this Aztec football team trying to bounce back after a tough loss out in Hawaii.
Yes, very tough loss. That's not an easy thing to go to Hawaii, get smoked by the Warriors. I think they're just the Warriors these days.
They are just the Warriors.
I appreciated the Rainbow Warriors.
NWSL. I don't know if you saw this. Adding an 18th team. Business must be doing all right, man.
Business has to be doing all right.
They are expanding. This will be in 2028. They had 2 teams coming, I believe, next year, a team coming in 27, and then another team in 28. They haven't decided on where that one's going to be yet, but the Wave will have some company, it sounds like.
Yeah, I haven't done, the Wave started for me as a really popular, and it still is popular amongst some people, but I feel like that, no pun intended, wave has
you feel like
subsided.
It's subsided a little bit.
Yeah, I think Alex Morgan was a big deal. I think Jill Ellis was a big deal. And now that that's gone, I don't know that as many people are as aware of it.
That might be a good point. I mean, certainly having, I think there was 2 Olympians on that squad when they first start, 3, because Shaw became one a little bit later. So, I mean, those are definite draws when you have those type of players. Still got some really good players on there. I know one of them's up for an MVP this year in that league. So, but you're right. The buzz isn't quite as loud as it was, but they're still being productive, having good seasons. I know they lost in a playoff here recently to Portland, but doing all right.
Yeah, I need to go to one of those games. I've heard they're really fun. I've been to 3 SDFC games. Those are really fun.
Those are legit.
Those are legit.
The SDFC games make you realize what it can look like in Snapdragon when it's full.
When it's full and ready to go. The
24th, by the way, is round 2 against the Minnesota. I don't know what they're
FC.
Is it FC?
Yeah, I think
so.
It's
Minnesota. I know that.
I almost said the Wild, but that's the hockey team.
They'll be at Snapdragon on the 24th. So round 2 will have a couple of weeks in between now and then, but another home game for SDFC.
I mean, that's huge. It is huge.
They completely bucked the
United FC.
United FC. Okay, Minnesota United.
Yeah.
The SDFC completely bucked the kind of the San Diego curse of playoffs. Like you get in there and you have a great season,
you choke,
and then you end up losing to the AC. They dominated their game 3.
They definitely did. That was fun. I don't know how we're gonna handle, like, if they get to the championship game. I mean, it's gonna be interesting because
they got a shot, man. They got a shot to be the champions this year.
To be an expansion team and champions and get San Diego your first title. That
they're gonna be in the comments talking about this ain't the first title. You know, you
I
had
think
a lot.
we have to accept it, people. I think we only got 2 professional sports in town, like 3 professional sports with the 2 soccer teams. But
Yeah.
I mean, they've been fun to watch. They have drawn all year.
Yeah.
They have they have a huge fan base, like hardcore fans that go to every game, watch every game. I love the chanting, not the bad chanting, but the good chanting.
That group over there, they got it rocking, man.
They really do.
Had my head bobbing the whole game.
Did Manny go down on the field before the playoff game?
I didn't see him game 3 because he was down. He did the I guess their version of the first pitch.
Okay.
Before game 1.
The first kick?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with kicking. You're holding this
big, it's a big
blue ball. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but yes. Let's get to break. Let's get to break. On the other side, Ryan Lindley will join us next. More Gwynn and Chris.
It's never been easier to listen to Gwynn and Chris.
coming up soon. 5:30-ish. I'd have the dial turned on at 5:30. You never know. It's coming there shortly thereafter. I know that.
Yep.
Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Ryan Lindley will join us shortly. Talk a little bit about this Aztec football game. Ryan, of course, is the senior offensive analyst. Get a little breakdown on what that actually is as well. But Aztecs coming off a tough one. To go down Hawaii, they had it really all in front of them, and they still do. They still have it all in front. But that certainly kind of poked a hole in the whole idea of maybe a playoff appearance being something of reality.
Yeah, I think so. I think Chris talked it way too much into existence.
He often does. He often does.
He goes too far.
He often does. And the whole time I think I'm usually thinking something like, oh man.
You're co-signing, but you're also like,
I feel like this is too much.
Yeah. To think that they were going to go to Georgia and he was looking up the travel time in a car.
It's one thing to think, okay, they could face off at Georgia, but then to take the extra step of looking up times
of
flights, travel, what it's going to take to get there.
Driving directions for Kirk Kenny. I mean, Chris doesn't go out of his way a lot. So him going that far tells you everything you need to know about how excited he was about the Aztecs.
For sure.
It is unfortunate that one loss can take him out, but that's what we're looking at.
And by the way, I just saw, I almost called him out his name. I'm not going to do that. Paul Feinbaum. He was up here like preaching about how we shouldn't even be allowing a South Florida to be the 12th seed. Should just be the best teams out there. Forget the way we've set it up. He's probably not the only person of that thought.
Well, he's an SEC apologist.
He's soon to be not even be involved in sports. He's on his way out of that.
Yeah, he's going to be in politics.
He's going to be a politician, which seems to suit him very well.
He does have the look of a politician.
He really, really does. But yeah, soon that will kind of take care of itself. But Aztecs again will take on Boise State this weekend. Game still in front of them. Really, the rest of the season still in front of them as we get ready to take on Boise State. All right, well, Ryan Lindley joins us here on the Gwynn and Chris Hotline. Ryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. Happy to be with you guys. Sorry, I got band practice and walking by your own stopping grounds here with the baseball stadium in the background. So fired up here midweek of the prep and ready to go this weekend.
Guys, coming off a tough one out in Hawaii, you got a quick turnaround in terms of having to refocus really fast. Boise State on the other end of this. What do you think went against the Aztecs in that last game against Hawaii?
You know, it's kind of the perfect storm is probably too cheesy to use, but it's really, the weather kind of went south on us, obviously. Now it's sad to say just because there's a little bit of rain, but it's just kind of things that piled up, one after the other. And you look at it, like on offense, particularly, for us, it's like, hey, when you're in the red zone, you want to get more touchdowns and field goals, and obviously if we convert the 2 field goal tries that we had and turn those into touchdowns, and we're not looking at a 21-6 game and it's 21-14, and you still feel like you're in it. You're not panicking down multiple scores. And I think we kind of just let those things stack up on us in a tough environment, and credit to those guys. I think just in a way they came out with a little bit more passion to play, and we got caught on our heels and had a tough lesson that we had to learn the hard way.
Ryan Lindley joins us, and Ryan is the senior offensive analyst for San Diego State. Ryan, could you explain your role in terms of that, and what does that actually mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like general manager or anything else. There's a lot of new terms that everybody has on a
right.
on a football staff. So, for me, when Coach Lewis came on, like I want to be here. I want to be in San Diego. So that was kind of the terms that we kind of began our relationship on. And obviously not knowing me, he kind of just said, hey, I'd love to have you help out on the offense. I just don't know where. So we came across the senior offensive analyst as a term. And, since then it really worked out that the NCAA passed a rule that analysts could actually coach in the field. It used to be kind of hey, you work in the shadows and do your own thing and kind of help out, consult. And since that became a rule since last year, I've really just been coaching the tight ends and take that group on as my own, and it's been a ton of fun. Like obviously, I work pretty tightly with Mike Schmidt, our offensive line coach, who I played with here. So it's been a lot of fun to work with and grow that group the last couple of years.
Let's talk a little bit of the offensive line, because it's probably the unsung heroes of the season this year. They have done a great job for the most part of keeping Denigal upright and allowing that offense to flourish. As the season has gone along, what are the types of things that you guys have been focused in on to try to help continue to get better?
Yeah, I think you look at just week in and week out at that spot. Our tight ends kind of consider ourselves, partial members of that group at the line of scrimmage. That we just want to be able to control the game to make sure that our playmakers, like you said, starting with the quarterback and then obviously the skill positions after that, the running backs and the receivers, are able to go make plays. So you kind of look at, hey, if we can control the tempo, if we can dictate terms on the line of scrimmage, obviously we can do what we want everywhere else on the field. And really looking back, like with our guys and those groups in particular, and us as coaches, like this is one of those games where we really look back, and probably one of the, one or two here this year, obviously in a good season, where we probably didn't do our best job. We didn't put our best foot forward. So the guys are taking that on the chin. I think used it as motivation this week and put in a good week of prep here so far.
Ryan, you mentioned on week to week. I would surmise is this kind of a similar message every week. We want to win the line of scrimmage, but I would imagine week to week that's not always an easy message to deliver. How do you have to change it up to kind of keep these guys fresh and keep these guys wanting to keep pushing forward?
Yeah, one thing I think that's key for me that I've kind of I think was and I don't want to sound like the old man yelling at the wind, but in this generation you got to keep things fresh, but you're right. Like we can go in and we can say, and really there are keys to a game, just like any other sport. There's basic foundations and fundamentals that you want to check those boxes every week to give yourself the best chance to win. But I do think you got to give the guys something fresh every week. And, Coach Lewis does a great job of that, keeping our guys engaged with something new motivationally. And, each week we show those guys that as a complete unit and a complete team. But I think for me, really, it's just posing a new challenge to my guys every week with who you're going to play. Obviously for us, it's the defensive ends and linebackers in particular. And, just kind of talk through guys. And for me, just kind of looking back at competitor, like, usually if you like doing this thing and you want to be successful and you like competing, like I try to build our guys up, man. We're playing the best guys we're going to see all year every week, and even that at some point they look through that and they see that. But I think our guys truly have looked at it. And the competition that we play, obviously with Boise State up next, being last year's CFP members here in the Mountain West Conference, like the guys know it. They know that they're playing a high caliber of opponent. Ideally, we're ramped up to put in the week of preparation we need to put our best foot forward Saturday.
Talking to Ryan Lindley, senior offensive analyst for the Aztecs football team here on 97.3 The Fan. And I'm not going to ask you to give me prices on tickets, but obviously the lack of, sometimes fans being in the stadium is something that we have talked about. How do you prepare your team, or do you guys even talk about it at all? Because I would think that it would be a little bit more difficult to play a home game without all of the home fans, but you this year have been able to do it. So as a team, how do you tackle that?
Yeah, a core foundation for our program is to control the controllable. So first and foremost, like you said, hey, I'm not in control of that, so it's not for me to comment on one way or the other. But also, yeah, our guys notice it, and I think just to brush off it and not talk about it would be doing a disservice, and to kind of not respect their intelligence from that standpoint too, as young men. So to talk about it to me, and I really look back in my own career here. I mean, I grew up in the Q where we had 12,000 people at a Halloween weekend game, and I got to see my parents up in the Loge level, got to wave to them because they were about the only people you see at the game. But and so I've been there, and I've told our guys that I've been there and I've seen it. And for me, and taking pride in this program as a hometown guy, like the only thing I saw fit to do was like, hey, yeah, we were a 2-10 team, and that was what we were going to get for a 2-10 product. And the biggest thing I tell our guys is like, hey, we got to go out and we got to control our 1/11th, our job each and every week to make sure that we go win football games and put out something that's fun to go see, So keeping our guys focused on that. And obviously, from that standpoint forward, I think we're doing what we can and taking some strides with the people that do control, the ticketing and those other things to make sure that we put as many guys in the seats as we can. And I'm looking forward, hopefully, that some things that they've done this week and can get our stadium a little more full than it's been the rest of the season.
Ryan, last one from me. Boise State coming up here this weekend. What are some of the keys that you guys are looking to hit on in order to get this victory and set yourself up well moving forward?
Yeah, I'll speak mainly from the offensive side for us. And them on defense, they bring back a lot of returning starters. Obviously, some continuity for them. The head coach, the defensive guy, really good coach. The coordinator's been there now for a couple of years, and they run a good scheme and they know it. You can tell they got some guys that have some pelts on the wall, and they definitely have some good leadership on the defensive side. They run to the football, they play hard, they're talented. So for our guys, like the main thing for me is obviously, you got a high level of competition you got to play, but with those kind of teams, man, it's so much about fundamentals and finish to me. So we're gonna have some different things we dial up to obviously try to put our guys in the best positions, and that's our job as coaches. But I think the main thing is telling our guys, like, hey, you got to outwork them, because when a team's like that and they're fast and they're physical, like, you guys got to make sure you don't get outworked, and that comes between your fundamentals and how you finish each play whistle to whistle. So really the basic stuff for our guys, and outside of that is obviously just making sure, hey, knowing what they're going to do when they're going to do it, putting our guys in the best situation possible. But I don't think there's some 110% formula or something special. When you go play a team like Boise State, you just got to put your hard hat on and get ready to go to work for 4 full quarters, because they're gonna bring theirs and do the same.
Well, I mean, Aztecs have been brilliant at putting their hard hat on really all season long. Ryan, appreciate your time, man, coming on, spending some time with us. Good luck this weekend, and we'll look to talk again soon.
I'll look forward to it. Next time we got to get a little Padres free agency talk. I kind of Jamie lulled me into this thinking we were going to talk a little Padres off.
Well, let me ask you
next time, okay?
We got one for you. Go ahead, Skraby.
Yeah. What are you thinking in the starting pitching arena? Should they go after guys like Framber Valdez, or what do you think the team needs to improve on?
Well, listen, I'm just fired up. Joe Musgrove is going to be taking the mound.
Yeah, sure. We all are
next year. I'm an East County guy, so the Foothillers a double whammy for me as the hometown hero. But you listen. I mean, I see pitching as like the simple-minded me of now just a simple fan. Like, hey, we got to be good up front, just like you got to be good up the middle in baseball, right?
Yes,
so
indeed.
I think if we can go out and get a guy that you can trust every fifth day is going to go put 6-7 strong innings out there. He is probably worth the price that we're going to have to pay at the parking lot or wherever else it is down in Texas. So I am all for it. I know AJ Preller, if he's got a way, if there's a will and there's a way, he's going to find it. So fired up for them coming up this next year.
Not only is Ryan an offensive analyst in the football arena, he knows a little something about baseball as well, man. Ryan, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Yeah, talk to you guys soon.
Ryan Lindley, senior offensive analyst for the Aztecs. Let's step away, get to break. When we come back, Mark Ziegler, we had earlier.
We had him earlier.
To talk Aztec basketball. You'll hear from him again. More Gwynn and Chris.
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low. was pretty fucking awesome. Okay, take goggles down to your neck. Crash landing, huh? What? We're gonna crash land. More or less. We're gonna hit the ground. Keep my feet. All the way back. Pick up. Arms up. Right on all the way down. Let it break. All the way. Here we go. Up there. Oh, you idiot. Typical tandem student right there. I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy. Fun, huh? You need help with anything? Okay, I'm nervous. Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
.537, last segment of the happy hour. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby. Mark Ziegler joined us earlier. You'll get to hear from him in a sec. But before we get to that, congratulations to today's biggest fan, Tyler Vendora of O-Side. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all of the fan staff later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Traffic. Then Ziegler.
Name one more time.
I'm sorry. Tyler Vendor.
Okay.
You've got about 9 minutes.
I'm feeling good.
833-288-0973. Here's traffic. Then Mark Ziegler.
5-5, get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury. Here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the San Diego District Attorney's Office. A number of problems on our roads this time around. Crash on eastbound 8 near the 15. It's blocking the right lane. Also have a crash on westbound 8, clearing up right around Severn. Further east on the 8, just past Lake Jennings, there's a collision, not showing if lanes are blocked. Traveling on southbound 125 before the 8, there's a collision involving several vehicles. It's in the center divide, North 5 coastline, an accident before Carlsbad Village Drive, vehicle facing the wrong way in the center divide. Workers' comp fraud costs us all. Fake claims and premium scams drain $34 billion a year. That means nearly $1,000 more per worker and higher prices for everyone. Workers' comp fraud hurts us all. See it, report it, stop it. Learn more at SanDiegoDA.com. I'm Kelly Danik with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Mark, how are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. Magoon Guas, 6 months of load management.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of this is guys who are actually injured at this point. Mark, big milestone for Dutch over the weekend, 200 wins on the season. I don't know if people really understand how big that number is.
Yeah, and again, okay, so there are a lot of guys out there who won 200, but he did it in 268 games,
right?
Which is just insane. And it took him a little bit over 8 seasons. It would have been 8 had he not had a couple seasons shortened by the pandemic. And he's number 25 in the all-time list, I think. There's some pretty impressive names on there like Mark Few. But this is a guy, and we've talked about this before, in his first year until like the last 2-3 weeks of the season, people are like, oh no, is this really the guy? Is he not really Steve Fisher? And no one's saying that anymore because, he won 6 straight to close that season and went to the NCAA tournament. And then a couple years later, he's 30-2. And then a couple years after that, he's in the national championship game. And he falls out with the Sweet 16. And now he might have as good a team as he's ever had. So I think his the body of work speaks for itself.
No doubt about it. He has certainly been a part of the change of culture here at San Diego State and has continued it on his own. Mark Ziegler joins us here, Union Tribune. And Mark, Aztecs off to a 2-0 start. Won by almost 40 the first game, a little bit kind of sluggish game the second time around. What's been your takeaway through the first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've looked all in all pretty good, considering that, the biggest piece, literally, Magoon Guas, is not out there yet. And, and Reese Waters didn't play in the first game. And, Reese Waters and Magoon have never played together in a game. And so that's something that, people kind of have to wrap their head around and get used to. But I think they're really right on schedule. Their practices, their arc of improvement at this time of year is so far ahead of last year and ahead of a lot of years that I think if they keep improving, their starting point was so high that they're just going to keep going up. Their ceiling is going to be pretty high. So I think so far everything's on schedule. They're going to get a little bit tougher test now in Troy coming up here next week. Troy probably should be 5-0 coming in here, and they're, statistically and according to the metrics, better than Idaho State and Long Beach State. And obviously, the big test is going to be Michigan on November 24th at the Players Are Only Festival in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the schedule only starts to get a little bit tougher. Mark, Miles Heide has stood out to me through the first couple of games. His energy kind of sparked it in the first game. It kind of got them rolling. Was this the kind of expectation that the Aztecs had for him when the season started?
Yeah, the thing that people have to remember is big guys take longer to develop. And he was a big guy. Brian Dutcher, when they recruit big guys in high school, they're not looking at the product in front of them. They're looking at, well, what kind of feet do they have? What kind of work ethic do they have? What does their shot look like? What does their frame look like? Can they put on more weight? And he kind of checked all those boxes. And then it's just a wait. Now let's wait 2 seasons and see what he looks like. Well, now we've waited 2 seasons, and we're starting to see what they envision for him. I mean, you mentioned energy. He's really, really been energetic. I think his knees bothered him a little bit last year, and he's a lot healthier this year, so I think that helps. But it's just the natural maturity. The fact that he which showed me a lot. He's a confidence guy, right? When he doesn't play well and he doesn't have good confidence, he has bad body language and he just kind of down in the dumps. And when his confidence is high, which it is right now, he really plays well. And you can tell his confidence is high because he took a 3-pointer in the first half and missed, and then he took one in the second half. Usually guys who have questionable confidence, they miss that first one. They're like, no way am I going to take another one. He took another one, and I think that was a really positive sign. I don't think they always want him taking threes, but that was positive, just showing that he has a lot of belief in himself, and I think that's what you're going to see the difference with him this year.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here on 97.3 The Fan about the Aztecs basketball team. We're going to have LZ Harrington on the show a little bit later, so we're excited about that. And I was reading through his bio, and I didn't realize how accomplished he was in high school and how many other schools really recruited him and tried to get him to go to their school. But he chose the Aztecs, started in his first 2 games great. What are the expectations for him this year as a freshman?
Well, he's a freshman, so no one's going to, overhype him, I think. It's just everything is gravy type thing in a program where freshmen really don't play a lot typically. But I can tell you, I've talked to some NBA people, some scouts, and they already have their eye on this guy. And it's not the stat line. It's just how he carries himself on the floor. He's 6'6", he's long. He doesn't get rattled. And I think one of the big things was in the Long Beach State game, they play a lot of real pressure defense, kind of like San Diego State having, a former San Diego State assistant, Chris Acker, as their head coach. And he had no problems against the pressure. Just took the ball up, look for somebody open, initiate the offense. And some of the passes he made were so high end for a freshman that it got some people's attention, trust me. And one in particular was there was a fast break where he threw over the top. He had one dribble and without hesitation went over the top, over the entire defense to Farrell Compton streaking for a dunk. That's a play they've worked on in practice. It's part of their system. They get it in practice, but no one had really done that in a game in last season or so far in this one. And his first true game, he does it. And that tells you the kind of upside he has. I think they're quietly really, really excited. I think you're going to see his playing time really spike up. Particularly watch for end of games. I think you might see him on the floor in crunch time in close games.
Mark Ziegler joins us here to Union Tribune. And Mark, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep this one bottled up very much longer. I mean, all the things you said stand out watching him. And that was the thing I noticed most is he didn't seem like a freshman when he was out on the floor, and his impact was felt despite the stat line being not something that jumps off the page at you.
Yeah. Let me turn this answer around into a question to you. You've seen a lot of pro athletes, right? You know what a pro looks like, just regardless of the sport. When you watch him, do you see just the way he carries himself, the way he sees the floor, or the way he goes about his business? Does that just scream pro to you?
It does. The fluidity in which he moves on the floor, it's like the perfect pace to get up and down. I was impressed watching. I'm looking forward to talking to him when he comes on a little later on. One of the things you wrote about, Mark, in your most recent article was the pick and pop was giving the Aztecs a little bit of trouble. And Dutch, to no one's surprise, was like, good. This is exactly what we needed to happen. That was interesting watching a team that really dominated that game defensively struggle with that piece of it in the second half.
Yeah, and there's a couple parts of this. First of all, Looney, their coach, Ryan Looney, who was at Point Loma Nazarene, took Point Loma Nazarene to the national championship game in 2019, is a really, really good, underrated coach. He's one of those guys that, no one really pays much attention to him because he's maybe one of the toughest jobs in the country. They don't win a ton. They finished 4th place last year, which was in the Big Sky, which is like the best they've finished in 35 years. I mean, that's how hard the job is. And so no one really pays attention to him, but he's a really, really good coach, and little subtleties in his offense and the way he puts it together. And he made an adjustment at halftime that really exposed San Diego State. But as you pointed out, Brian Dutch was like, oh, this is great because we need to work on it. We need to see it on film. We need to get exposed. And they got exposed without losing the game. But that's part of like the when I talk about how this team has sort of progressed, at a much higher rate, faster rate than some of the previous ones. That's part of it. I mean, in each game they played this year, whether it was UCLA, whether it was USD in the exhibition, then Long Beach State, and then Idaho State, there's been something with their defense that hasn't been quite right. And then they had to work on it, improved it in practice, and came back and were better at it. And so this is sort of the next progression and next step in that, trying to read, okay, is the guy on the screen or is he going to set it and then pop? What do we do? And they do two different things based on that read. And so seeing it in a live game, now being able to, put it to practice for 9 days, I suspect they'll be way better at that against Troy.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here, SDUT on 97.3 The Fan, and I'm going to ask you about another Mountain West team. That's Boise State, because they started the year against Hawaii Pacific. They lost to Hawaii Pacific, and I'm just wondering, like, is that a terrible loss, or is it just one of those things that happens throughout a season? Because I saw a lot of people freaking out that they lost to Hawaii Pacific, and it's going to affect their rest of their season.
Well, from a metric standpoint, it has no effect because Division II games and below don't count in the metrics. Only Division
lucky for them.
But it is on the team sheets when the NCAA tournament committee is looking at your body of work, and there it is right at the top is a loss to a D2 team. Even worse, this is a D2 team picked 7th in its conference. So it wasn't like, oh, this is one of the best. It's not like Cal State Dominguez Hills, which was a Final Four team in Division II last year and has a bunch of guys back. It's not that. And so I think that was the cause for alarm. Plus, they had quite a bit of travel to get there. However, I think so it really, they can recover from that. They can go on and win a bunch of games and everyone will forget about it. But I think the bigger issue is if you lose to a D2 team like that at home, you probably have some bigger problems.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not as good as everyone thought you were going to be. And so I think that's the bigger problem. And you saw that, for example, with UNLV, they lost to Tennessee Martin in their opener. Awful loss at home, right? 300 RPI, a Ken Palm team. And so you think, well, they can get over that. They come out and they blow out Chattanooga in their next game. And you think, okay, it's behind them. And then they come out last night and they give up 102 points and lose by 9 to Montana. And that, the Tennessee Martin loss alone didn't sink them, but it was a sign of, okay, there's some problems here. And then it reared its head against Montana. Now you got 2 of those. And, they're going to have to win the conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. And we're 3 games into the season.
I think for other reasons is you just don't want the teams in your own conference to be losing those type of games. It only weakens what the conference looks like. Mark, last one for 100%. Me. You talked about the schedule getting, tougher, starting with Troy next week. And we had earlier talked about how deep this roster is. To this point, there's been no signs or reasons for Dutcher to look to trim this rotation. But as you start going through these games, at what point does a head coach start to reevaluate rotations and things of that nature?
Well, I think you'll see it when they play Michigan if it's a close game, right?
Okay.
And they get into 8 minutes to go, and it's a 1 or 2 possession game. I think you'll really start to see who's playing well that day, but also who's been playing well in the last few weeks, and those guys be on the floor. I don't think you have to worry about. I don't think he's going to worry about feelings as much then.
Right.
But that said, it's 3 games, and likely you'll play 3 in 3 days.
That's also true. Yeah.
You could lose that first game and win the next 2 and really come out of that tournament looking pretty good, as opposed to throwing all your eggs in one basket, winning that first game and then not being exhausted for the next 2 and losing those 2. So usually in these situations he will play a deeper roster, even if some of the guys aren't performing at the same level as the frontliners, just because he wants to get through the 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that will be a really good gauge. I think the Arizona game will definitely be a good gauge because Gwynn should be fully up to speed by then. They'll have 10 games under their belt, and they should have a good sense of where everyone fits. Right now, it's really up in the air, and you have like we just talked about with Elsie. I mean, he's coming. I mean, he is really starting to improve. But then, whose minutes get trimmed? Is it going to be Taj DeGorville, the starting point guard? Is it going to be Sean Newman? Is it going to be B.J. Davis? Who's you don't have enough minutes to go around, and Dutch has been very open about that. He goes, I don't have enough minutes. Someone's not going to be happy. The key to this team is going to be, do we pout or are we all in this together?
Yeah, no doubt. Mark, as always, man, appreciate you coming on, spending some time with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll talk to you guys.
Shout out to Mark Ziegler, always on point. Shout out to Beto Duran. He was on point. LZ Harrington on point. Ryan Lindley on point. But we're going to leave you with this one. Scotty B. Boris. I shouldn't say Scotty B because I don't know what his middle name is. But Scott Boris is at it again. Remember last year we got to the winter meetings and he was like being this poet, like spitting poetry.
Yeah.
He's at it again. He was quoted a couple times. The Pete Alonso one in particular, he decided to go full P power. And I'll let you hear what I explained when Matt reads it here.
From Mike Puma, Scott Boris on Pete Alonso, quote, "There's no doubt Pete's pursuers are primed to pay the power piper. Pete picked a perfect period to play preeminently at a primary position. A playoff parched plethora will pounce to participate in the polar plunge."
Now listen, there's no chance that this was just by chance.
No.
He put this together.
He's just having fun.
He clearly is a dude who has a lot of time on his hands and is just having the greatest time ever. He decided to put together a wordsmith salad there of peas.
Just ridiculous amount of peas, and
he was popping his peas.
You know what he does? He sits at home and counts his money and comes up with stuff like this.
Winter meetings are about to get
GM
hot.
meetings.
But I said the winter meetings are about to get going. Scotty B's getting warmed up.
Oh, what is he gonna have? Like a what are those poetry slams?
I know he's gonna be another pretty rich offseason for him, as my guess.
Yeah, probably.
Back at it again tomorrow. Skraby and I short show. I don't know who the Thursday night game is. I'll know who it is tomorrow though.
No idea either.
Chronicles up next.
Chronicles up next.
You guys have a good night.